All right, that's good to hear. Yeah, no. How have you been liking lately? A lot of the Zen stuff. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
um, the whole community by having too much stake and then dumping on their heads or whatever. I don't think that's either the way they want to do it or that it's. I think it was just a few mistakes, like taking BVMPX before they announced about it. I thought that was not a good move in terms of image, but I mean, if you're fair crypto, that's really something you want to avoid. But I mean, they're free to trade, and if they have any problems, it's between them and the SEC. So that I don't care much about. And in terms of the percentage of allocation they would get, it would be ridiculously small anyway. So it wouldn't be a risk on that end.
Yeah.
But in terms of image for the project, I think that was a bad move. Yeah. And at the time where the SEC was going hard on most cryptos, and we had an ideal crypto, I was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Yeah. No, and it sucks
but
when we
yeah.
get something like that. Where um it's so I will agree with the optics pieces. Um but I also sort of like, like I've said always said, they've always sort of said participate in everything, you know,
Yeah.
and it's if it's a proof of participation protocol, and some people choose not to participate in certain things, I don't see why they get mad if you know something is addressed to one of the other things that participated in. And so I'm sort of burnt out on DBs then because I don't feel like um, there's not any really room to grow. And when we have someone that maybe they've seen the light now type of thing, but because they don't like that they didn't get a big enough allocation, they go and turn their website off. I, you know,
Yeah.
I,
That move too. Yeah.
like that, like how much, like one that brings into
It was
question.
it was actually not turned off. I mean, I think at one point it was actually, but
It was,
very short for maybe
yeah,
an hour or so.
yeah,
But
and whether or not that's still, now the question is, do I have to now question the entire UI? You know, um,
I mean, you can still use the contract
oh yeah,
directly. I mean,
no, definitely
it's not user friendly, but
no, you of course you can use the contract, and that's you can always use the contract. I meant Zen through the contract. What we're supposed to have is a level of trust. You know,
mm,
and if someone's preaching first principles, but then they don't like their allocation, and so they're going to take their
that,
ball and go home. How
yeah,
can
that
they,
shattered the trust a little bit. Yeah,
and
agreed.
so now we have people that are like taking up the DB Zen arms that just sort of, you know, I don't go and participate every single day, but I try to do it, a couple times a week, and I'm not even going in big. I burn one or two batches, and that's it, you know,
Hmm.
um, and work to just sort of collect DB Zen and collect fees. Um, but it's one of those things to where, um, eh, no matter what day no matter what day it is, the if um, the top bid is 25 million Zen, the same person comes in and just drops 6 billion Zen. I'm glad they have that Zen to burn, but then
Yeah,
it
the
turns
auction style. Yeah, the auction style is a bit messy. I didn't participate much in the burning on this. I used more Phoenix for burning, but
Yeah.
it's true that the auction, I'm a bit wary of it because you never know until the last second what's going to happen. So I like to know what I'm getting into and how much I'm getting out.
Yeah.
And it's true that for me there are quite a few. I mean, technically, initially, I think DBZen is a great product. The only issue is that there are a few flaws that let a lot of whales have a big advantage over everybody else. So that was the first point before even the drama.
Yep.
And then it's also, the reaction of Raz to what happened and the XN allocation. I think it's fair to have the allocation based on the proof of burn, and it's the biggest burner, so why add something else on top? Just for one project, for me that would be really unfair. So I totally agree with Jack on that. I don't know why he had the idea in the first place to propose, XN allocation just for the XN itself. I don't know, but I think it's been the changes, the rapid changes that have been, tearing down the community a little bit.
Yeah.
I understand the iterative process and the agile approach that Jack is using, and it's great for learning quickly from a project and growing it. But at the same time, if you do too many changes too often and people still tend to really take into account what he says as a way to invest their money, and some go big apparently, well, then that's too bad for the investors, and might not be the best image for the community as a whole. So
Yeah.
that's the sad part about it. But that's why I'm sticking to Zen mostly.
Yeah. No, and that's
what you know, really.
Yeah, and what I would like to see, and what I'm gonna top, like let's make a marketplace for Zen, you know,
Marketplace
NFTs,
to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, for NFTs.
Yeah, why not? You know, um, it's literally all you're doing is you're selling something for a specific token, you know, and then paying gas fees, So, what I'm looking at is, idea piece is you set the price at whatever you want. You get 50% of it. 25% goes, and these are just rough numbers that I came up off the top of my head. 25% goes to the protocol, and then the last 25%, 15% gets burned through the Zen contract, and 10% actually gets truly burned.
Nice.
So, it's where you're not just, because this is the thing that I dislike with DBZen is you're almost tripling money, and it's not sustainable, you know, um, because you're getting both, you burn Zen that you got for a low fee, so you're getting more for your money, more for your bang right off the get go, which is cool. But then when you burn, you're getting X1, and so so you're turning $1 into $1. You're also then getting DB Zen, so you're turning $1 into $2, and you're getting protocol fees, so you're turning $1 into $3. Now, are they all three equal to $1? No, but it equals to more than $1 that's then put in, and so it's the sustainability of it is just we hear people talking all the time about, oh well, big money's going to come in. Big money's not going to come in if there's nothing left on the bones. Big money's not going to come in if 100 people own, or 100 wallets, not 100 people necessarily. 100 people own 50% of the supply. And then we have people that are mad that that it's that it's an open market and big money's could come and buy in and buy a majority of it, which then cuts them out. So either you can have your cake and eat it too, or you know, just sort
Well,
of,
you can't buy really a big portion of the supply because 90% is steaks.
yeah,
So, or you're gonna eat up a lot of fees on. I mean, the liquidity is so dry that yeah, no,
yeah,
it's gonna cost you a lot. So yeah. Well, I've kept on DCing with the fees I earned on the east side, but yeah, it's true that for now I don't know where it's going. We'll see if DB's NFT changes the deal a little bit or not. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's been a big investment that in the end, yeah, you don't know where it's going. I was very surprised to see it go back to such lows. Yeah, honestly, I didn't expect it to go that low.
yeah,
I would have thought maybe in the 20s or 30s, but not in. I don't know where it is now, but it should be like 304. So yeah, it's
yeah.
low.
I'm,
Below the first price.
yeah. Um, it's well, what we're seeing now is we're seeing, more movement and ownership of it. So, people are buying and trading the token, or the same tokens getting traded. So,
Yeah.
that what that gives room for is more need of it. Um, and so, that should go benefit people to go mint it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, to mint it right now, it's still too expensive to mint compared to buying it out of the market. That's the weird part.
yeah, right now yeah, but it's one of those things to where, um, there was a time when it was cheaper to buy Bitcoin than mine it, but we still
Yeah.
mined it. Uh, you know,
That's the Degen way. Yeah.
you know, and
Exactly.
and right now it's sort of the same thing with, unless large mining operations, you know, um, I was at an event last week. Oh my gosh, the company's called like DGC, I think. And they have a facility in Canada, and they're doing one tetra hash. Uh,
Ooh.
I think. What is that? That's like
Is it beyond the petahash or?
yeah, it's beyond the peta. It's 1 to the 100th power, or 1 to the, yeah, I think
Ooh.
so. And what they're doing and what they're slowly doing is figuring out ways to add renewable power to reduce their energy consumption, or
Yeah.
their reliance on energy consumption, rather than just creating it. And so they're doing some cool partnerships with, some nearby refineries for their off gassing and stuff like that, for their flare power. I don't know what the real, so I just call it flare power because it's the flare gas to heat and turn into things. So there's just some cool stuff
Oh,
there.
you meet a lot of interesting people. You must have such a network with all the conferences you go to.
I get to, I really do think it's pretty cool, the amount of people and different kind of people that I get to meet, and just sort of have a really good time. Last night, was at an event by Savvy DeFi, and got to talk to, a DeFi protocol that's building on Cosmos. Got to talk to a new loan operator. Salutations, Simple Waters. Um, got to talk
Hey
to
man.
a new loan protocol on for NFTs. That's been live for 2 weeks, and we have a call this week to sort of see. He's like, we're getting ready to get a huge injection of liquidity, but he's like, I would love for someone to come and use our protocol and like just dump floor their NFTs, so we can show that it works. He's like, I would love for someone to come and take up all our liquidity, you know? And I think stuff like that is pretty cool. Um, so it's, people, there's just so much stuff building right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, it seems to be a year where, compared to the previous bear markets, where it was a lot of underwater people that were just doing a little bit of site building, but it seemed to be not that massive in terms of number of builders and so on. This bear market has been quite amazing for that,
Yeah.
sure.
And look at the results of those builders last bear. So like they were just let's just say they were tinkerers then, you know, and the stuff that they built caused the last run, you know.
Yeah.
Now, if we're looking at an exponential rise in builders and things being built, this next run is going to be, you know,
huge.
It's gonna be amazing.
But that's the thing. Yeah, go ahead, Simple.
No, I was just chiming in. I think it's a beautiful thing when things are built in the bear, because it just gives things are built strong. Because there's not as much money flowing through. And so, like, from my perspective, I think that if you build strong in the bear, the bull is going to be a lot more fluid, and it just, yeah, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
yeah, and that's one of the really cool things with it. You don't know what's going to come about from it.
One thing though is I'm still on the fence with regards to the ETF side of things, the Bitcoin ETF, because it seems that that could be something that could hinder the blow off top, even though you have a lot of builders and a lot of things like that. If you have the big trend ETF side of things, the Bitcoin ETF, because it seems that that could be something that could hinder the blow off top, even though you have a lot of builders and a lot of things like that. If you have the big TradFi companies that come in and just
Well, everyone's got a bunch of different projects in the making, and so I think that okay. I think regulation will do good things. And the reason why I think regulation will do good things is because so many people have projects being built that they're just waiting to figure out which project they can present. So
And the reason
rather
why I think
than
regulation
like
will do
JP
good things is
Morgan
because so many people
setting
have
aside,
projects being built
and building
that
7 different projects,
they're just
they'll be
waiting
able
to
to
figure out which
work
project they can
on just
present.
one project
So
and
rather than
go from there.
like JP
So I
Morgan,
think that
setting
gives
aside,
us a whole different aspect of,
and
if they're
building
not
7
having to
different
waste
projects,
money building
they'll be
7
able to
different
make
things to wait to
work
see
on
how
just one
regulation will
project
go.
and go from
When
there.
we get clarity
So I
of
think that will
who we can do stuff
that
with,
gives
like,
us
so I just had a
whole different
conversation
aspect
with
of
Glitter
if they're not
Finance,
having to waste money
and
building 7
the
different
Glitter
things
Bridge
to wait
team,
to see how
and it's one
regulation
of
will
those things.
go.
It sucks. You
And
can't use it in the U.S.
when we get clarity
You
of
know,
who we can
but
do stuff with, like, so
because
I just had a
there's
conversation
not
with
clear
Glitter Finance
use
and
now,
the Glitter
and
Bridge team,
and so I
and
think
it's one of those
one of
things,
the
it
things that
sucks. You can't
will
use it in the
really
US,
open up regulation will open up
but
real
because
clear standards of what you can use and how to use it.
now,
Guidance,
But as we know,
and
all
so I
security
think
companies,
one of the
all
things
safety
that
measures,
will really open up regulation will
even
open
the
up
Internet Board of
real clear
Safety,
standards of
government,
what you can use
organization says if you're
and
using
how to
Wi-Fi,
use it.
use a VPN.
But as we know, all security companies,
So yeah,
all safety measures, even the Internet Board of Safety, government, organization says if you're using Wi-Fi, use a VPN. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the regulation in itself. It could be good, but it depends on how it's deployed. I've seen that in Europe, for example, they seem to have done the right move of, for once, I'm French, and it's true that seeing that the French MICA, which was the law regarding all of these assets, has been pretty good because basically it allowed people to build in a safe environment where they know what they're doing. But now it seems that winds are a little bit changing because sometimes people still consider that some of the assets are unregulated securities, even though the exchange themselves have a proper safe environment to work in. So I don't know. Yeah, it will be fun to see how the US does it because for now they're really anti-crypto, and it's weird compared to the rest of the world that seems to be way more open, even more in Asia than in Europe, actually.
I think
When you see what's happening in Hong Kong and other places.
I think, are you going to be going to ETC
I
next
see
month,
the bull market
way?
more come from Asia than from the US for now, but we'll see. Will be interesting to see.
You should go.
Definitely.
So
I think. Oh, sorry.
There's going to be so many. Welcome to the table, kid.
Are you going to be going to ETC next month? By the way,
there's going to be so many events.
No, I don't go to conventions. I'm a stay-at-home dad.
You should go.
Oh yeah.
I will find some.
There's going to be
some,
so many.
Some
Welcome to the table,
I'll
kid.
talk to some friends and I'll send you a list of kid-friendly.
There's going to be so many.
Or just like
events
run to a coffee shop and meet with some degens or some stuff, so you can.
I will find some. I will find some events and I'll talk to some friends and I'll send you a list of kid-friendly.
I got some.
Or
stuff there
just
too.
like run to a coffee shop and meet with some degens or some stuff, so you can. Have
if you got some in Switzerland, I'm up for it.
And then there was just
okay, I'll find there. I got some
Copenhagen.
Stuff
there too.
Good.
So
yeah,
I know there's a valley, like a Silicon Valley of crypto here, so
yeah.
Toronto just had Waterloo, and it has ETH Toronto and Futurist
Copenhagen.
I'm looking forward to Permissionless in Austin.
There's just a lot of stuff going on, and then Amsterdam has
that,
Breakpoint coming up.
Amazing minds together.
Toronto has just had Waterloo, and it has ETH Toronto and Futurist coming up. I'm looking forward to Permissionless in Austin. There's just a lot of good events coming up that
I do. And
amazing minds together.
I saw your post on the permissionless. So the people that are there, because I saw just a couple names that I knew, but you know a lot of people there.
I do.
Permissionless.
Official. Thanks to the Permissionless.
I made that flex.
Twitter
he was like, if it's not on your LinkedIn, it's not
I now
official.
have the official role.
So I went and added it to my
junior
LinkedIn.
Intern to the senior intern.
And he's like, all right, you can have that role. So. But I'm setting up some really great interviews.
He was like, if it's not on your LinkedIn,
really cool
it's not official. And so I went and added it to my LinkedIn.
Really amazing people to come to Permissionless,
and he's like, all right,
and be part of
that role. So,
what is building out there.
Some really great interviews.
I'm just
going to
really
be doing some really cool invites and
what's on the future.
Trying to get some really amazing people to come to Permissionless and be part of what is building out there, So
I think
I'm just really excited.
I think I have two accounts, so whichever one has
the same name on LinkedIn as on Twitter.
Player One Taco.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Then I'll go and have a look then.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I have two accounts, so whichever one has the most recent feeds or is showing a live video feed right now.
Is that permissionless? That's in Austin?
Yep, September 11th through the 13th.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Right now,
I was gonna ask, is there anything happening around the Midwest? Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff is like either, I know Austin's a big hub, and I know that out west is a big hub, but how about like the Midwest?
Is going to be happening
right
there.
now.
I think there's about
NFT Detroit is going on.
I want to say right around 90 projects involved with Solana Summer. And
Solana Summer is going to be happening there.
Stuff that they're pushing out. So
I want to say right around 90 projects involved with Solana Summer.
EIP 6557 is now
some of
just
the
starting to
new
get
tech
some
stuff
really
that
big
they're pushing
recognition,
out.
but like
So
account creation and
you
account
know,
management has sort of
they've
been part of
counted
Solana's
traction
blockchain since the get-go, and it's just now
EIP
starting to get tapped. There was
6557
a
is
really,
now
I
just
don't know
starting to get
if
some
anyone
really big
signs
recognition,
up
but
for
like
it or looks for
account
it, but
creation and account
Zen
management has sort
Academy,
of been part of Solana's
Zeneca,
blockchain since the get-go,
puts
and
out a
it's just
really
now
good
starting to get tapped.
weekly update
There was a
letter.
really, I don't know
And for
if
those that are
anyone
wanting to learn more
signs up
about
for it
Web3,
or looks for it, but
Zeneca does
Zen
a really
Academy,
good job, has a really cool
Zeneca,
academy piece there,
puts out a
almost
really
like a learn
good
and
weekly update letter.
really
And for those that
big
are wanting to
on
learn more about
pushing information
Web3,
and deep diving and scratching
Zeneca
the
does
surface
a
on
really
stuff.
good
So
job, has a
I
really
would check
cool
that
academy piece there, almost like a learn and earn, and really big on pushing information and deep diving and scratching the surface on stuff. So
I got to meet him in Vegas
And
last
that's
year.
how do you spell the
Web3
Zeneca?
Expo.
Is it Zeneca?
Zeneca.
In person,
Awesome, thank you. I'll check it out 100%.
I got to meet him
because he's an educator.
in Vegas
When you're
last
coming
year
on,
during the Web3
when you're
Expo.
talking, like in Twitter Spaces and giving out information, you come from you have to sort of come from a point of not authority, but you're coming from a point of where you know what you're talking about.
When you're coming on
in
when
person,
talking,
when he's
like
talking
in
and stuff like that,
and
you can
giving out
feel that
information,
power,
you
but
come
he's
from
also
a very
really
you have to
humble
sort
guy.
of come from a point of not authority.
That was a really cool.
But
that was a really good encounter.
You're coming
really
from
cool
a point of where
person to
you know what you're talking
meet.
about.
Really enjoyed
in person when he's talking and stuff like that. You can feel that power, but he's also a really humble guy.
But Simple, how have you been, Simple?
That was a really cool. That was a really good encounter. Really cool person to meet. Really enjoyed that. So, yeah. But Simple, how have you been, Simple?
I'm doing good, man. Just happy it's July 1st. It's a beautiful summer, and yeah, I'm just been in Bitcoin world. To be honest with you, I participated with the block out with the bitmaps over there, and yeah, just looking at some of this new art that's happening with like recursions and stuff like that, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of having fun in the digital waters, and I think that this upcoming Zen mint is going to be pretty cool on the ERC20 side, July 4th. So I've been playing around just with the Zen Turbo.io little tool they made for VampX, and yeah, just kind of playing around with that. Are you going to be playing with the bitmap stuff at all? Did you participate in that? And, are you playing with VampX?
So
I have
one of those little tiny things.
I have a
just
bitmap.
one of the ways to
I have some VampX.
Do my part, and
I like to buy and hold.
Look at the long run.
I like to participate. So it's
Zen is a proof of participation
one of those
protocol,
little tiny
so
things.
It doesn't mean
just one of the ways to
go be a whale. It just means participate.
Do my part,
and so we'll see how that goes.
Look at the long run. It is a Zen is a proof of participation protocol, so it doesn't mean go be a whale. It just means participate. And so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we'll see. I think even now it's not a bad time. Obviously on all the chains to mint, but the GUI is relatively low. I wonder how high it's going. I mean, 45. We saw 45 during the week, but like now it's like 15. So it's like always.
We'll see.
I wonder how it's gonna spike.
Because I don't think many. A lot of
July 4th, or if it is,
and a lot of other business.
What do you think?
Will be closed or will be off chain that day.
We'll see
so
what
I
the
think
power
that
of Zen
there's a lot of room
does
for
to the network, because I
opportunity
don't think many,
across
a
all the
lot
chains.
of regular degens and a lot of other business
too, if
will
anyone
be closed or will be,
people always talk about liking to have a voice in the governance of chains.
There's a lot of room for opportunity of lower
Moonbeam has some proposals that are coming up.
Speaking of that,
due by,
if anyone
I think there's one due by tomorrow.
People always
the governance
talk about
vote,
liking
and
to
then
have a
other
voice
governance
in the
votes,
governance
and by
of
the
chains.
So if you have any Glimmer, if you've participated
Moonbeam
on
has some
Moonbeam,
proposals
you
that
got to
are coming
remember
up
they've done some things
that
to where
are
they
due
didn't
by.
like
I think
10,000
there's
new
one due by
wallets
tomorrow,
coming on chain because
governance
they were
vote,
not ready
and
for
then
that.
other governance votes
So there's
end
some
by
new
the
stuff
7th.
coming on.
So if you
up
have
for
any Glimmer, if
proposals
you
about
participated on
storage,
Moonbeam, you got to
and
remember they've done some
how
things to
storage
where
is
they didn't
presented
like
and preserved
10,000 new
on chain
wallets
and stuff like
coming
that.
on
So
chain because they were not ready
check
for
that
that.
out through Moonbeam.
So there's some new stuff
going
coming
through
on
their Twitter,
up
going
and for
through
proposals
their
about
Discord,
storage
and
how
Polka
storage
assembly
is
as well.
presented
So
and preserved on chain and stuff like
even
that.
if you don't have Glimmer to
check
vote,
that out through
make
Moonbeam,
your voice heard on the
going
forums,
through their
and
Twitter,
just
going
give your opinion, because
their Discord,
remember,
and
devs
Polka assembly
see the world
as well.
usually just through their eyes, and I know
even if you
I
don't
some
have Glimmer to
big
vote,
arguments with the devs
make your
during
voice heard
runtime
on the forums
2305
and just give
or
your opinion,
2303,
because
which
remember,
brought on dynamic
devs
fees on
see
Moonbeam,
the
and
world
that
usually
was
just through their eyes.
it was a proposal that was already planned,
I have
but
some pretty
Zen sort
big
of
arguments with the devs
pushed
during
that
runtime
forward a little bit
2305
faster
or
because
2303,
they
which
couldn't run
brought on
test
dynamic fees
transactions
on Moonbeam,
on
and that
chain
was a proposal that was
quickly
already
as they
planned,
wanted to.
but Zen
Which I'm
sort
like, well,
of
then you shouldn't be doing
pushed
test
that forward
transactions on
a little
chain.
bit
You should be doing
faster
them on
because
Moon River. But
they couldn't run test transactions
it's
on chain.
I would love to see the Zen
as
community
quickly
come behind
as
that.
they wanted to. Which
One of
I'm
the
like,
things
well,
that I'm
then you
working
shouldn't be
with
doing
my
test
decks
transactions
right now
on
is
chain. You should be doing them on
we're having
River.
to
But,
clear out a contract.
It's,
and so we have a lot of keys in place.
I would
so
love
it's
to
really
see the
hard
Zen
to
community
do.
come behind that.
One
of the things that I'm working with my decks
really
right now is
skewed liquidity pool.
we're having to clear out
and
a
then
contract,
emptied it, so it had a really bad price
and
point.
So we have a lot of keys in place, so it's really hard to do.
Working to get that cleared
someone
out,
had
so
made
that
a really
new Zen
off-skewed
pool
liquidity
can be made
pool
on Pulsar,
and then emptied it, so it had a really bad
trade,
price point piece
Zen
in it.
DB
so,
Zen for Glimmer, or back and
working
forth.
to get that cleared out, so then
once that goes
new
live,
Zen
I'll be tweeting the heck out of
made
it
on
if I can get some
Pulsar,
love, or
so that
just
people can
eyes
then,
on it, and
trade
annoy the heck
Zen,
out of
DB Zen,
the rest of my
for
team
Glimmer,
on Stella
or
Swap
back and forth.
bug them
So
when Zen.
once that goes live,
that would be
I'll be
amazing.
tweeting the heck out of it
So.
if I can get some love, or just eyes on it and annoy the heck out of the rest of my team on Stella Swap and bug them when Zen. That would be amazing.
So I got a question for that there. So that's gonna solve one of the main problems with Zen on a lot of these smaller chains and even some of the bigger chains, that liquidity issue, right? And we were kind of talking about this last night when it came to Phoenix and when it came to DB Zen, right? And if we can find a way to inject liquidity or incentivize people to inject liquidity, we can get a lot better price action
right now,
in these pumps, man. And people will be a lot happier. So I'm actually really excited for this. So we can clean everything up, man.
I can set up
incentivization and so there's
vault.
Two ways that we can, like right
that
now,
basically then
what I
pays
wanted,
out
what I'm looking at making was a non-incentivized pool.
To
but one of the things that
LP
we can
for
that I can do
is
I can set up
emissions,
incentivization vault.
That's sort
so
of distributed
that basically
based over a time period, and so whatever that vault is,
for people,
it's then divided by the amount of days for the length of that vault.
LP
so like let's say
for there to be liquidity.
For
emissions,
argument's sake,
so to speak,
that's
sort of distributed based over
say we made it
a time period, and so whatever that vault is,
and there was 6,000 Zen
the length of that vault.
So basically, each day, 1,000 Zen would be distributed to those that are providing LP.
Let's say we made it a 6-day
if you look at that exponentially,
and
there
was
that would be
6,000 Zen.
I see a hand.
So basically, each day, 1,000 Zen would be distributed to those that are providing LP. So if you look at that exponentially, that's sort of how that would be broken down at. I see a hand.
Yeah, I just want to chime in and say, kid, you're kind of wrong when it comes to liquidity. You want a soft cap on how much you want in there, because if you are trying to pump and you got too much liquidity, the price won't do anything. It'll just sit there.
Well, yeah, but let's be realistic. Like, when we inject liquidity, is it going to truly be that much to where we can't budge? Are we going to be top heavy that fast?
Yes.
I mean, no.
If you go look at the Wise chart, they locked up like something like 30 million.
There's two pieces
and
to
that price has
like,
only
that's
went
when
down
a
forever
project locks
because
their liquidity, like,
but they locked
their,
it though.
Their piece, so that they're like, hey,
Yeah.
this is what we're.
Everybody
adding to
knows
it.
you don't like
When it's
locked
community,
liquidity, or
when
you
it's
literally can't do anything with it.
One of the hardest things when I've talked with different
there's
exchanges
two
and stuff
to
like that,
like that's
you know,
when a project
it's very hard for people like, oh, there's not a team allocation.
So they're like, hey,
oh,
this
there's
is
not
what
a
we're
VC
adding
backing
to it.
this.
When it's
I'm like,
community,
no, it's community,
like,
and
so
I
one
sort
of the
of go
hardest things
to
when
the
I talk
argument,
with different exchanges and stuff like that.
It puts everyone's spine up.
It's very
but,
hard for people like, oh, there's not a
it's
team
either
allocation.
love, hate, or I don't know about.
Oh, there's not a
but
VC
talking about
backing
hex.
this. I'm like, no, it's community.
When you look
so
at the
I sort of go
decentralization,
to the argument,
yes, a protocol was made, but
it
all
puts
of the
everyone's
liquidity
spine
that
up,
was brought to it wasn't an injection
it's either love,
from,
hate, or I
it was
don't know
basically,
about.
hey,
But
here's a
talking about
chain,
hex, I'm
go
like,
do what you want with it,
when you look at the decentralization,
or don't do anything.
Yes, a protocol
Those
was
are your
made,
two options.
but all
what
of
have
the
we seen?
liquidity that was
And
brought
so,
to it wasn't
just
an
making
injection
things
from.
visible
It was
for
basically,
people to
hey,
see,
here's a
rather
chain.
than having to go do things
Go do what you want
behind the
with
scenes
it,
through a smart
or
contract.
don't do anything.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people
Those are
can
your
go
two
and do
options.
that, but the
And what have we seen?
everyday average
And so,
person, or
just making things visible
simplicity
for people to see, rather than
the
having to
simple
go
way
do
of doing
things
it
behind
be
the scenes
as a
through a
visual
smart
UI.
contract.
And
Yes,
when
I'm sure a
something's
lot of
not
people
on
can go
a
and do
visual
that,
UI,
but the
it does two
everyday
things. It's
average
either,
person,
hey,
or
I
just
want to see
simplicity,
my assets. I want to see
the
that
simple
piece
way
to
of doing
know
it,
that it's supported,
would be as a visual UI.
or I want
And
it to
when
be,
something's not on a
recognized.
visual UI,
And
it does two things.
so
It's
it
either,
makes it really hard
hey,
when
I
a
want to
protocol
see my
doesn't want to
assets.
do
I
that
want to see
because,
that piece to be know that it's supported,
it makes it hard to do
or
things
I
from
want
that
it to
aspect, in my
be
opinion.
recognized. And so
How do you
it
onboard
makes
new
it really
people? You
hard
make it easy.
when a protocol doesn't want to do that
Kid,
because
not Kid,
you,
Cola.
it makes it hard to do things.
Is it Kool-Aid
from
or
that
just
aspect,
Cola
in my
Coin?
opinion.
007.
How do you onboard new people?
Well, I have had to say
easy.
that me and 007 have never been seen in the same room together.
Not Kid, Cola. Is it Kool-Aid or just Cola Coin?
So I guess
it's 007.
I guess what we can now, like,
well, I have had to say that me and 007 have never been seen in the same room
where you're
together.
like trying to like knock down the tabs and pick out the person.
I think you guys
we
have.
can now
He
say
just got
that
a
I am
new,
not 007.
new profile.
So I guess,
yeah,
but
I guess
I can say that me and Batman have never been seen in the same room together.
Well, I forget that
so
game.
We have that
match
one.
or not match, but where you're like trying to like knock down the tabs and pick out the
007,
person.
cool.
We can now say that I am not 007.
One of the things that
but
I agree with you
that me
to a
and
point.
Batman have never been seen in the
more
same room
liquidity
together.
just means that there's more depth for trading
and
not volatility.
That's good.
And it incentivizes other people to come in and see movement and price action. But what's
agree
really
with you
cool
to a point
is it's not
more liquidity.
I would rather
just means
have
that there's
a
more
million
depth
people
for trading
doing $1 or 1,000 people doing $10,
and it incentivizes
than like one person
other people to come in and
$1 million
see movement and price action. But what's really cool
that's
is
just
it's not.
I
would rather have a million people
either taking
doing
everything
$1
or just controlling
or 1,000 people doing $10.
We've seen
than
it
like one
more
person
people
coming in with $1 million
micro
or
buys,
$10,000.
micro transactions
That's
create
just
more movement than anything
wiping
else.
the board, and taking everything or just controlling
what are your
everything.
thoughts on that?
And we've seen that more people, micro buys, micro transactions create more movement than anything else. Would you say differently, or what are your thoughts on that?
Maybe might have dropped bad connection. Just know that I'm putting a pin in that question for later. Zen Master or Kid or Simple. What are your thoughts on that question? Because that's a generalized question.
Maybe might have dropped bad connection. Just know that I'm putting a pin in that question for later. Zen Master or Kid or Simple. What are your thoughts on that question? Because that's a generalized question too.
Yeah, I prefer having a lot of people participating in the LP than just one, because then you get brugged.
Yeah.
I think actually adding depth to the pools is the best thing we can do, because when people choose to exit, like you can never stop a liquidity pool from like people from pulling money out and all of these things. The best thing to actually have is like a vibrant community of people like that can participate. Because if people aren't providing,
point,
that means
but it's also one of those things to where
barely
if you
there's any
have one
fees.
person
Nobody's really
that
earning
has a
anything.
majority
So
of
the
it
more in general that's
that
happening,
takes their
just
ball
the
and goes
better
home,
overall. Yeah.
It can
Yeah.
we've seen it
No.
kill communities time
I
and time
think
again.
that's a good point, but it's also one of those
You know.
things to where if you have one person
Yeah.
that has a majority of it, that takes their ball and goes home, it can we've seen it kill communities time and time again. You know,
I'm taking my ball and going home.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so true though, and I think that's it's like what's the stickiness, right, of the protocols or incentive, right? And I mean that's I mean, and I think that's the thing, right? Is people have their different ranges of when they want to exit or how long they can be in something. I mean, I kind of just want to circle back, talk about what you're saying. It's just like you're buy and hold it. It's the long game from my perspective, and yeah, I think a lot of people just look for the quick flip, and I think even so in the Zen ecosystem, people are kind of all over the map as far as like, oh hey, when moon, or some people are actually seeing a longer trajectory and what's happening, but I think the best thing is the foundation being laid and the users being able to come in and have a good time and play around, and understand that value. It's not necessarily shown in the first few months of new projects, and allowing space and time for things to grow, right? Because good things take time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we've
I guess
seen
just kind of planting that
lot,
seed. There's
go
no rush,
through
right? If
the
you do things in a
last,
rushed way,
like look at what's
the
happened
product's
with
going to
the
show,
last
right? That's just my perspective.
3 days
Yeah.
since
And
Zen was
we've
added to
seen
KuCoin,
a lot,
and how much fluctuation has been there.
go through
So
the last,
heck, it's still up 24%.
like look at
in the
what's
last 7
happened
days.
with the last
So
3 days since Zen was added to KuCoin, and how much fluctuation has been there. So heck, it's still up 24% in the last 7 days. So
do you remember that at one point that Jack mentioned, LPs, NFTs? And this idea I thought was quite a clever one, just to get people to participate a bit more in the LPs. But I think it's been put on the back burner for now. But
yeah,
that was a fun idea to try to do things differently, because not everybody wants to learn how to LP, and I thought that was a clever way to do it in a simple manner. It's not as versatile as doing it yourself and selecting the range more specifically to your needs, but yeah, that was a clever idea, I thought.
I think I remember what you're talking about, but do you want to refresh?
I think it was something that he had an idea that was there maybe in January or February. I don't know, you guys, what you remember, but
it was
when we were talking about
liquidities and NFTs.
Yeah, liquidities NFTs, where basically you would use your Zen to provide liquidity with those.
What they did is
you
go
so
provide liquidity,
one of the,
like on
a really
PancakeSwap
cool protocol
or on Uniswap. Well,
that
they were doing
through some hardships.
SushiSwap,
Phantasma,
PancakeSwap, and because Uniswap
what they
didn't
did
have
is
V3 yet.
You go provide liquidity,
and
like on
you
PancakeSwap or on Uniswap. They were
have
doing
those positions, those LP tokens,
SushiSwap,
and you go back to their staking page, Phantasma staking page,
because Uniswap
and it
didn't have V3 yet.
Your
and you go and you
LP tokens,
you have those
but you
positions,
sort of pinged,
those LP tokens,
broadcast that,
and
hey,
you go
I
back to their
these.
staking page,
and so then it would
Phantasma staking
rather
page,
than doing
and it didn't take your
it was basically rather
your
than just a passive
tokens,
piece, you had to go
but you
nominate
sort of
yourself and be like, hey, I'm doing this,
that, hey, I have
and you
these.
could earn rewards that way.
So then
so
it
like
would
if,
then
you were doing
rather than doing
ETH, Sol, you could
it
earn
was
KCal if
basically,
you're doing
rather than
KCal
just
Sol.
a
You could
passive
earn
piece, you had to go nominate yourself and be like, hey, I'm
BSC.
doing this,
Depending on which chain
and
you
you
were
could
doing
earn
it on.
rewards that way.
If
So
you were
like if
providing
you were doing ETH Sol,
KCal,
you could earn
BSC,
KCal. If
you'd
you're
earn
doing
Sol. So
KCal
like,
Sol,
but
you could earn
it was their little farming
BSC.
hack
Depending on which
nomination
chain you're
page
doing
stuff,
it
and
on.
some really cool stuff
If
that
you
they
were
were doing
providing
on chain for that. But to save in storage
KCal
and
BSC, you'd earn
to
Sol. So like,
incentivize people to
but
participate,
it was their little
it
farming.
wasn't just an automatic like, hey,
hack
you have an LP
nomination
token,
page
you
stuff,
get
and some really cool stuff that they were doing
these
on chain
passive
for that.
rewards. You had to go,
But to save in storage,
declare yourself like, hey, I'm actively doing this.
to incentivize people to participate,
I think
you
that
had
stuff
it wasn't
like that's
just an
sort of
automatic like, hey, you have an LP token,
especially with Uniswap
you get these
V3
passive
right
rewards.
now.
You had to go.
I've been reading a
declare
lot of the
yourself,
detail
like,
stuff
hey, I'm
on
actively doing
Uniswap V4,
So,
which I think might be really cool.
I think that stuff like
but
that's sort
with
of cool.
the V3, you have at that liquid position
especially
that you're
with
providing
Uniswap
LP.
V3
you
right
can
now.
collect fees and
I've
stuff like
been
that,
reading a
and
lot of
still
the
keep,
details
your
stuff
position,
on
whether
Uniswap
you
V4, which
want
I think
Zen
might be really
or
cool.
you want USDC or
But
Zen, and
with the V3, you have
DB Zen,
at that
wherever you're
liquid
providing
position
pools
that you're
at.
providing LP.
Me personally,
you can
I
collect
have
fees and
pools,
stuff like that, and still keep your
Zen,
position.
Zen
Whether
and gas
you
token,
want Zen,
Zen
or
and
you
DB
want
Zen,
USDC or
Zen and Phoenix, and
DB
Zen
Zen,
and
wherever you're
Phoenix.
providing pools at.
Those are the and
me
then
personally,
I have for each of
I have pools,
DB Zen, I have the DB Zen and gas token,
Zen and
Phoenix
gas token, Zen and
pools.
DB Zen.
So that way, I'm
Zen
collecting
and Phoenix,
fees on
and
both
DB
sides
Zen and
of the
Phoenix.
trade.
Those are the,
like.
and then I have for each of
I like passive
DB
income.
Zen, I have the DB Zen and gas token, Phoenix and gas token pools. So that way, I'm collecting fees
You're
on
like
both
the
sides
fifth person
of the
to
trade.
ask me if I have, and I will be 100% honest. I have not.
I like passive income.
I love it, man.
Have you ever looked into elephant money?
You're like the fifth person to ask me if I have, and I will be 100% honest. I have not. I've been,
because it seems to be a quite complex ecosystem, but it's an amazing concept. I mean, they built something in a way that provides constant growth, and it's been doing that since 2022, and the chart is up and to the right constantly. It's like slowly growing, and they have an LP and a treasury and different options to earn native yield and stuff like that. And it's yeah, I didn't take much time into looking into the details. I got some just bought some elephant token, but yeah, it seems that the way they build things and they adjusted them as well as they grew seem to be really one of the best pieces of DeFi that I've seen so far in terms of constant growth. The ecosystem seems to be flourishing. It's still quite small, but it has quite a lot of potential.
Like
so
I said, my big DJ.
Yeah, I think it's worth having a look into it if you have time. I was too busy on Zen to really take the time to investigate in more detail, so I just bought it a little bit and let it run.
Right now.
Yeah, no, like I said, my big DJ thing right now is
they're doing some cool stuff there.
Savvy DeFi,
getting ready for that protocol to launch
on Arbitrum, using
they're
building up their Arbitrum liquidity pool right now.
A piece of capital
through Trader Joe, and so
pick a yield
they're
strategy.
Doing some cool stuff there.
Pull out half of what
you're
putting in, and your
that's where you
deposit
can
is earning
put
yield
down
that pays
a piece
off
of
your
capital,
loan, and it can't liquidate. So.
Pick a yield strategy.
Like that is sort of cool in a way. That's like
what you're putting in,
super slow,
and your initial deposit is earning yield that pays off your loan.
But it's one of those ways like, hey, I got $1,000 that can just
stuff
sit,
like that is sort of cool.
In a way,
that's like
to go play around with.
A super slow.
The protocol pays off your loan for you. So I think stuff like
but
that.
But it's one of those
really
ways like, hey, I got $1,000 that can just
bring a lot of more
but I want
liquidity and movement to the market
to go play around with. And
if you're willing to,
the protocol pays off your loan for
sit,
you. So
on $1,000
I think
for
stuff like that
a
is
little
really
bit while it earns yield,
gonna push
and
forward.
Then you're willing to
bring a lot of more liquidity and movement
then you
to
have,
the market.
As I like to say,
if you're willing to
find out money,
sit, on $1,000 for
you can go do whatever
a little
you
bit
want
while it earns yield. and
So,
then you're willing
we'll
to
see some really cool stuff
go,
there. I think that we've seen that happen with a
then
lot
you
of
have,
the NFT
as I
lending
like to say,
platforms as well lately.
fuck around and find out
So.
money.
I'm excited for it. Hey.
So we'll see some really cool stuff there. I think that we've seen that happen with a lot of the NFT lending platforms as well lately. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
love
and,
the fuck around and find out.
you know, that used to be one
Right.
of those.
That's great. That's the only way, though,
I
right?
guess
Because it's
fighting
like,
words.
how
you know,
do
fighting
we
sentences,
even
but
be
now
in
it's
crypto
really
if we didn't fuck
it's an
around
explorer
and find out, you know?
sentence. You know.
Yeah. You know, and
I wish we come up with a
you know,
better
that
one
used to
that
be one of
doesn't
those,
have a swear word in it. You know. But
I guess
just so I can
fighting
say
words,
it anytime,
you know,
everywhere.
fighting sentences. But now it's really it's an explorer sentence. You know. I wish we come up with a better one that doesn't have a swear word in it. You know. But just so I can say it anytime, everywhere.
There's a awesome post that I don't know, I went in the archives, you know, I like to screen capture stuff, but it's just like, you know, the Kool-Aid man himself, Gary V. I consider him the Kool-Aid man because he's like one of the first guys to kind of go through the wall as far as like influencers go, you know, with the Wine Library TV and YouTube and all the platforms, right? But he talks about this idea of settling, right? It's like a lot of people, and no, we're all human, right? But it's like this idea of settling for a current reality or a certain way, and then judging everyone that is exploring still. It's like there's nothing wrong with settling, but when you start casting judgment on other things and that limits your exploration, it just it's a weird feeling, and I'm realizing there's a lot more armchair quarterbacks than actual people that are out there like running into stuff and exploring, right? And so I guess
Gary
for me,
V
I'm
is pretty
just looking at
amazing. I was lucky
that
enough
clip,
to
and
go
I'm
to
just like,
VCon.
man, it just hits
this
right in the
year.
heart. I'll send it to you, Taco. But it's
Yeah,
it's just it's important to
you
explore.
know,
No,
I've been at
agree
events
you,
with him
but,
before,
you know,
but I have
Gary
not been
V
at
is pretty
I
amazing.
didn't go to VCon last year.
I was lucky enough to go to
instead.
VCon
And
this
so
year.
it was my pocket to go to VCon this year
and,
rather than go to Bitcoin
you know,
Miami.
I've been at events with him before, but I have not been at.
really
I didn't go to VCon last year. I was at permissionless instead.
And I've said this for a
so
while.
it was my bucket
and
to go
I
to
really got
VCon
to
this year rather than go
and
to
see it in
Bitcoin
action.
Miami.
A lot of people were upset
so
that Gary V
really got
owned
a good
the
chance
IP
to
of
sort of see that community.
And his
And
idea behind
I've
that
said
was
this for a while.
I can leverage my
and
network.
I really got to
and
reiterate
do more for
and
everyone
see it in action
than any one person.
A lot of
can
people
do
were upset
for
that Gary
everyone
V
else. And
owned the IP of VFriends.
We saw
and his
what
idea behind
a
that was
community-driven project
I can
has done,
leverage
and I'm
my
going to compare
network
this to Board Ape.
and do more
You know,
for
it was
everyone
a community
than
that
any one
bought
person
billboards
can do
that
for
put their apes
everyone
up,
else.
and
And
spray
we
painted their
saw
ups and
we
spray
saw
painted their apes
what
on
a
everything,
community-driven project has done.
commissioned
And I'm going
art
to compare
pieces
this
for
to
it
Board
that
Ape.
got it into
You know, it
everyone's
was a
eyes.
community that bought
But it took
billboards
a while
that,
to do that.
put their
yes,
apes up, spray painted
when
their
I say a
ups
while,
and,
it took that means
spray
a
painted
year
their
compared
apes
to
on
like let's say
everything, and
10 years ago,
commissioned art pieces
campaigns
for
of
it
like
that got
2
it
years,
into
2 to
everyone's
3 years,
eyes,
just to become
but it took a while
widely
to do
known.
that. Yes,
But synonymous
when I
with
say a while,
NFTs or
that means a
blockchain,
year compared
you
to
have
like
Bitcoin
let's say
and you
10
have
years
Bored
ago
Apes.
marketing
Synonymous
campaigns
with
of like 2 years,
Gary
2 to 3
V, you have
years just to
VFriends,
become
and I got
widely
to meet a
known.
lot of V friends
But
that were introduced
synonymous
to
with
blockchain, who've been part of
NFTs
Gary
or
V's
blockchain, you have Bitcoin,
like
and you have
leadership
Bored Apes.
programs and stuff over
synonymous
the years.
with Gary V, you have
and
VFriends.
they're all in,
and
because
I got to meet a lot of V friends that were introduced to blockchain,
one of the
who've been part of
greatest
Gary
things that
V's
with everyone I met that was like just in
leadership
NFTs or something like
programs
that,
and stuff over the years.
There was no
that got introduced, and
what I see in a
they're
lot of
all
communities.
in, because of that, and they think it's
unfortunately,
one of the coolest things.
Isolation,
and
like,
one
hey,
of
if
the
you're
greatest
not one of
things
us,
that with
and
everyone
solely
I
one of
met
us,
that was like
you're not
just
with
in
us,
NFTs or something
you're
like
against
that.
us.
It wasn't.
But
there
one
was
of the
no
really cool things that I saw with
what I see in a lot of communities.
everyone
I see.
I met at
Unfortunately, I
VCon is
see.
like, oh, you're in crypto
isolation.
too,
Like,
or
hey, if you're not one of
infrastructure?
us and
Tell me
solely one of
more.
us,
Like,
you're not with us.
you're
You're
or where
against
should I
us.
go and learn more?
But one of the really
And
cool things
so,
that I saw with with a lot
people are
everyone
thriving
I
for
met at
education and more
VCon is like, oh,
knowledge.
you're in
They
crypto
got into
too,
echo
or
chambers and they didn't know
infrastructure.
they don't know,
Tell me more. Like,
not bad echo chambers,
or where should I
but
go
they
and
got
learn
into these
more?
echo chambers and they
And
want
so
to
it's
learn more. And I
people
think
are
being
thriving
able
for
to
education and more
expand
knowledge.
yourself,
They got into
one of the
echo
cool
chambers
things
and they
with
didn't know
Zen
how
is
to. They don't know,
how many chains it's across.
not bad echo chambers, but they
And then,
got into these
we
echo chambers and they
participate
want
in
to
some of the dumbest things
learn more.
just
And I
to do
think
it. Like, I
being able
know,
to
I don't know who's
expand
gone
yourself,
and done
one of the cool things
the
with Zen
X1
is
Fastnet.
how many chains it's
You know,
across.
I went and minted a whole bunch of stuff on it
we
just because,
participate in some of the
even though
dumbest
it says
things
on the Block
to
Explorer,
do it. Like,
this is
I
going to
know,
just self-destruct.
I don't know who's gone
There's
and
no
done
point in it, other than just
the
go
X1
participate in
Fastnet.
it. And I was like, hey, if it's
I
helping
went
with
and minted
any
a
sort
whole
of
bunch of
information,
stuff on it just
I
because,
will
Me
go do it.
too.
I'm not going to
even though
go
it says on the
rig the
block
system and go
Explorer,
try to
this is going to
do it
just
through
self-destruct.
like a coin tool smart
There's no
contract.
point in it, other than just
I will
go
do the
participate
protocol
in
as the
it.
protocol
And I was
was
like,
designed,
hey, if
so
it's
that
helping
you
with
get
any sort of
real
information,
results.
I will go do it. I'm not going to go rig the system and go try to, do it through like a coin tool smart contract. I will do the protocol as the protocol was designed, so that you get real results.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, right? It's like, again, I keep talking about the play, but that's, if you're really interested, you're gonna play. You're gonna go and you're gonna go play with something that might not exist tomorrow, right? And that's for me, that's why I'm in it. I'm in it for the play, and obviously, we're all in it for making money for sure, but I want to have a good time along the way.
Yeah.
And connecting with people and everything like that. I mean, that's amazing that you were able to be a part of the Gary V just like community, it's crazy how he's always kind of been on the forefront of
he is
where
and
everything is going to be,
one of
and
the cool
I think
things,
he's hitting his stride
I was invited
in
there,
the NFT world,
so
even more so. And
I didn't have to go buy my way in.
Yeah, I think he's a good steward for the crypto world.
He is,
it was
and
really
what I
amazing
got,
time
one of the cool things
to sort of see
I
and
was
report
invited
on
there,
that stuff.
so I didn't have to go buy my way in.
All of the different projects that have IP, that I've been part of, like
it was a really amazing
Alien
time
Friends was there,
to
Mattel
sort of see and report on that
and
stuff.
they're releasing a Barbie was
but then
there.
At the same time, all of the different
Power Speakers doing membership
projects
stuff
that have IP, that I've been part of, like Pudgy Penguins was there, Alien Friends
Quarter
was there,
Machine was there, and
Mattel
they're doing stuff
with their
where they're
Hot
doing a lot,
Wheels,
like,
and they're releasing a Barbie.
they have several different NFT
Power
projects
Speakers
under
doing membership stuff.
piece. One of the biggest ones that they did is they did Web 2 stuff.
Quarter Machine was there,
with their
and
Web
they're
3
doing
NFTs
stuff where they're doing a lot
of
like
kid cartoons.
they have several different NFT projects under one piece. One of the biggest ones that they did is they did,
because when
Web
it comes
2
to finances,
stuff
we can't really touch kids
with their Web 3 NFTs
one, it's not,
of
it's not
kid
right
cartoons,
to, it's not smart
on,
to,
and kid shorts,
and
stuff
they don't
like
have that access. But
has
if
huge
you can
hit,
if you can
and like
support your Web 3
demographics, because
community,
when it comes to finances, we can't really touch kids, because one, it's not,
I don't even know
it's not right to, it's not smart to,
under
and they
12,
don't have that access.
But
if you can support your Web 3 community by making a product that affects,
so
I don't even know what percentage of the population is under
cool stuff
12.
There's a lot of cool new stuff coming out for creators and content creators and partnerships,
and that's just smart,
and referrals,
that is smart
and
business.
For people that put in that simple day-to-day work of talking about stuff, and
that's sort of the cool stuff there. There's a lot of cool new stuff coming out for creators and content creators and partnerships, and referrals, and for people that put in that simple day-to-day work of talking about stuff and helping promote stuff and getting recognition for that, I think is some really cool stuff that the blockchain sort of bring in.
That idea and that market, obviously, yeah, in marketing, it's definitely a fine line to be able to advertise to kids and everything like that. But I think just because I have little cousins and nephews and whatnot, and so it's fun to kind of just pick their brain and see where they're at, if they're playing on their iPad or new streams they're kind of tapping into. But it's interesting because you bring up a good point, right? And I kind of just I'm I'm a maxi right now, just when it comes to Zen, but I'm just thinking about it from like kids' perspective and like maybe delayed gratification, and just thinking about these smaller changes, like chains like Moonbeam. Let's say, for example, if you were to give a kid $5 of Moonbeam, and like maybe have them do a couple mints or something like that. It's just
marketing in
yeah,
any way,
my head's
shape, or
just going in a
form.
way
They're
in a
doing
way where you can
educational
kind of show
content,
them the
like
value
the
of
Blippi,
time, participation, and
uh,
money, right, and
Paw
what that
Patrol
means.
type of stuff.
Well, no,
That they're
they're not
using
even
like
they're not even
AI
doing
and
marketing in
AR
any way, shape, or
to
form.
like integrate into
They're doing
these educational videos.
content,
So it's
like,
not even a marketing ploy,
like
other than maybe
Blippi,
like they come out with like a Blippi truck or something like that, and
Paw
like,
Patrol type
kids
of stuff
are all about
that
Blippi.
they're using like
and
AI
I was just looking
and
at this:
AR
25%
to like
of the
integrate
world
into these
population is under the
educational
age of
videos.
14.
So it's not even a marketing ploy, other than maybe
So
like they come out with like a Blippi
literally,
truck or something like that,
their
and like
target
kids
audience is a
are all
quarter
about
of the world.
Blippi. And I was just looking at this. 25%
and that's
of the
what they're
world
providing
population is under
educational
the age of
pieces
14.
for, and so
So
if they're making
literally their target
a
audience
huge
is a
piece
quarter of the world.
play for creating content
and
that
that's what they're
want their
providing
kids to
educational
watch,
pieces for. So if they're making
we have a really cool education system that's sort of popping up that is like moving away from screen time,
creating content that parents want their kids
but
to watch.
Sometimes the best teachers aren't us, and some of that stuff is
really
becoming
cool education system
content
that's sort of popping
true
up,
educational content
that is like moving away from screen
I'm
time.
sort of for that,
but sometimes the best
I don't know, maybe
best teachers
Simple or Kid,
us,
if
and
you guys
some
are
of that
dads
stuff is becoming
or parents or
educational content
godparents,
that's
true
true
what are your
educational
thoughts
content.
on that, or anyone else that might be
I'm
in
sort
the
of
room
for
that
that,
wants to come up on stage? I sent invites to everyone. Let's be part of this
I don't
conversation.
know, maybe Simple or Kid, if you guys are dads or parents or godparents,
Kid or
what are
Simple,
your
are you
thoughts
guys
on that?
are
Or
you guys
anyone else that
parents in
might
any
be
ways?
in the room that wants to come up on stage. I sent invites to everyone. Let's be part of this conversation. Kid or Simple, are you guys parents in any ways?
Oh no, man.
No, not yet. Taking my time in that regard, but yeah, I guess I've been a coach for a while. Just like on ice hockey coach, and it's interesting to think about that, because yeah, it comes down to education. It's like, right, you have to learn how to skate before you learn how to score a goal or something like that, or the ability to do all the things. It's like you have to focus on the core foundation of the why, and getting to the core of it all, and then you can really build people, and build people for success. And it definitely starts with education. And even for myself, it's like I'm kind of looking at all of this crypto world as a kid, and I'm feeling like a kid. I'm feeling like there's a new energy that's like sparked in me from the crypto world, and it's just that curiosity, because I feel like I've definitely lost in crypto, but coming full circle to a protocol like Zen again. I'm on my maxi again, but just Zen as an educational tool, it's got me like, I have a lot more. I'm a lot more comfortable, with cross-chain swaps, or using Stella Swap now, to be able to do some of those swaps, or playing in these different ecosystems. It's like I would have never had a reason to do that if it wasn't for Zen. And yeah, I think kind of what you're saying, Taco. It definitely is important, and I can only imagine what it's like for some users that have children, and if they've had that conversation about hey, this is crypto, or because usually I think people talk about what they're passionate about, but yeah, that's really my thought. I don't know, how do you feel, Kid?
Yeah, dude. I've talked about this, but I think that's some of the first things people should be talking with their kids about, is like what money is, and like
this is
how to
sort
be
of a male
self-sovereign, how to
dominated
like
piece. If
truly
there's
be
any
free
aunts,
and
moms,
things like this, so
grandmas,
they can
or
actually like make
godmothers
real
in the room, would
decisions.
love you up on stage on
Yeah.
this piece too, since we're going into that parenting aspect too. Parents
this is
from
sort of
both
a
sides,
male-dominated piece. If there's
sort
any
of bring
aunts,
different points and
moms,
views up. So would
grandmas,
love any other
or godmothers in the room, would
views on
love you
this
up
as
on
well,
stage on this
before we
piece
move
too,
sort of
since we're
onto the
going
next
into that
thing,
parenting aspect too.
or if it wants to be touched on later on.
Parents from
Happy
both
to
sides,
have recircle back to
sort of
conversations.
bring different points and views up. So would love any
so
other
yeah, no, it's as
views
we
on
sort of
this as
see,
well,
the
before we move
market
sort of
sort
on to
of
the next thing,
move in different ways
or if
of
it wants to be
targeting,
touched on
I
later
guess,
on.
and
Happy to
and
have recircle back to
I
conversations.
use that word, it sounds like it
so
can
yeah,
be a
no,
negative word, but it can be,
as we sort of see,
you
the market
target
sort of move
demographics,
in different ways of
you want to
targeting,
sell,
I
or
guess,
you want to promote to your
I use that word,
buyer, or
it sounds like
or your
it can be a
community,
negative
your
word, but
user.
it can be,
you want to
you target
direct yourself to
demographics,
someone, a potential user.
you want to sell, or you want to promote to your
I miss,
buyer,
sometimes I miss the days
or
of
your community, your
really
user.
old Hotmail.
You want to direct yourself to someone, a
untargeted
potential
media,
user.
marketing. Every day I got 50 new emails
sometimes I
asking me
miss
if I
the
wanted to
days
increase my
of
boob size.
really old Hotmail,
And so
where
now, it's a completely different type of marketing.
untargeted media,
But it's one of those
marketing.
things like,
every day I got 50 new emails asking me if I wanted to increase my boob size.
yes.
And so now, it's a completely different type of marketing. But it's one of those things like,
you want to increase your boob size.
Yeah. And
you
so
I know I do.
it's
We
one
all
of those
do.
things
We all
where
do.
Yes.
yeah.
And so
gotta sort of have
I want
a little bit of, I guess it's better bang for the buck, and
yeah.
a
And
cool
so,
project that I got to talk
it's one
with
of those
one of the
things
co-founders
where,
last night. I guess more referral based
gotta
piecing.
sort of have
And
a
so
little bit of,
part of that is people can
I guess it's
buy the
better bang for
coupons,
the buck, and
but they don't
cool
actually get a
project that I
referral
got to
base
talk
for
with
it
one of the
until they
co-founders
actually
last
use
night.
it. And so then it's
I
then
guess
on the
more
business to
referral-based
decide,
piecing.
hey, we got this
And so
coupon, these
part
users.
of that is
what is that referral
buy
worth
the
to
coupons,
us? So giving
but
choice on that
they don't
as
actually
well,
get
which
a
is pretty
referral
cool.
base for it until they
And these
actually
unique
use it.
coupons
And
are
so
done
then
as
it's then on the
NFTs,
business to
and
decide,
I don't know, there's some
hey,
really
we got
cool
this
infrastructure
coupon,
pieces
these
there.
users.
But
What
then it
is that?
really
What is
helps
that
with
referral worth to
the
us?
referral
So
links,
giving choice
and
on that
not
as
just
well,
targeted
which is
marketing,
pretty cool.
but individuals.
And these
like
unique
the global
coupons are done
phenomenon
as NFTs,
of Tupperware
and I don't know. There's
parties.
some really cool
Selling to your friends,
infrastructure
or
pieces
like
there.
not selling to your friends, but like
then it really helps with like
how many
the
times have
referral
you
links,
seen
and
something new
not just targeted
at a
marketing,
friend,
but
that a friend or
individuals,
acquaintance has, and you're
like
like,
the
oh, tell me
global
about
phenomenon of Tupperware parties.
do you like that?
Selling to your friends, or like not selling to your friends, but like,
and getting instant
how many
recognition
times
for
have
that,
you
if that
seen
person
something
then goes
new
and
at a friend
gets
that a friend or acquaintance
because
has,
of
and you're like,
if you were
tell me about
pivotal
that.
piece. So we're
do
starting
you
to see
like
some
that?
cool stuff like that come out, which I really
And
like.
so, and getting instant recognition for that, if that person then goes and gets that because of that. If you were that pivotal
we'll see
piece,
some really cool things.
So we're starting to see some cool stuff like that come out, which I really like.
Community, we got a good Zen, we got a good Pulse community here. I guess the sort of the topic of the day sort of changed around. Let's project recap.
I don't know. We'll see some really cool things. So let's we got a good Hex community, we got a good Zen, we got a good Pulse community here. I guess the topic of the day sort of changed around. Let's project recap in different ways. What's how are people feeling with Zen right now? How's life going? Simple.
It's going great. I actually have one of my it's at 9:00 tonight, but I have one of my Zen mints coming up, and I'm super excited about it. It's definitely profitable, which is it's crazy to say that, but I paid around $3 for the wallet. I think it was a day 2. This was October 8th.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be claiming that tonight, paying a little gas fee, and I believe it's $33 in there. So I'm excited about it. I'm also excited about Pulse Chain. And just the opportunity that's over there. For me personally, like it is tough though. Obviously we're playing in different chains, and they all have their different allocations and things like that. So I tread a little bit lightly on Pulse
Nice.
Chain just because of the Richard Hart owning 90% of the chain. But I do like that Zen is making some waves over there, and yeah, having fun.
Nice.
Yeah. With me, dude, I've really been trying to get people to focus on Phoenix and just really take a step back, look at the code and respect it for how it's evolved, like a lot of things in our community are revolutionary. Like Zen is a first of its kind. DB Zen is a first of its kind. But Phoenix is an evolution of trustless yield. It's actually the third generation of trustless yield in the smart contract form, right? So um everything Hex has, Phoenix has jam packed inside of 180 lines of code. So I've been just on this campaign recently, and I'm really going to start pressing it now. Phoenix is what we should be presenting to Hexicans, fellow Hexicans who, people like Trevon, people, who can really get the word out and just tell them to clean up the word and stop fudding the bags and let's really educate people about what the technology is and where it came from and, get people aboard because when these 13-week parties start happening, we really want to celebrate, man. And these are like mini big paydays, and we just got to get the education. You guys are hitting it right on the head. It's about getting this shit to the people, and so they know why they're doing what they're doing.
Well, and Taco, I really appreciate what you do with these bites, man. Like the daily bites, because it's you have such a breath of fresh air. At least from my perspective, there's not many people that are doing it for the love of it and for the like. It's funny because it's Taco Player One Taco though, and so it's like that little bit of Ready Player One vibe in my mind, and I'm like, okay, this guy went backwards, and he knows something, so I'm gonna tap in
Thank
and
you.
get as close as I can because I know he's out there, making waves, riding waves,
Hey,
and
no,
playing.
for those that are
And I
on the
think that's
jumbotron,
yeah,
yeah.
So I
I
guess
haven't
just
touched
appreciate what you
Phoenix
do, man,
since day
and
one,
having the space.
and
Thank you.
I
Thank
don't
you.
Yeah,
even
and
know what
even
I
talking
did
about
with
Phoenix,
everything. So I
dude.
gotta go
I
check
had
on
to fit
what
that in
I
there.
did and what I
Hey,
have to
no,
pull.
for those that are on the
Yeah,
jumbotron,
yeah.
I haven't touched Phoenix since day one, and I don't remember what I did with everything. So I gotta go check on what I did and what I have to.
Hey, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's simplified. Everybody says it's so complicated, and when they give me the long explanation, it's more complicated than DB's in and all of this. It's like, no, man. You don't need a minimum of 2.5 million. You could literally mint Zen for one day and play with Phoenix, and then forget about it and come back and quadruple your bag.
One thing that I really am excited about in the Zen ecosystem is just kind of where Jack and the core team's heads at when it comes to getting people to develop. Because from my perspective, and this is something, and maybe you can kind of chime in on this, Taco, is when it comes to developers, right? There has to be some incentive for developers to create, and especially around this first principle narrative, it's not that easy, right? Because money makes the world go round, right? And economic energy makes the world go round. So if developers are building something but they're not being paid, what's the incentive to act in accordance to these first principles? And that's where the team allocation, stuff like that, would kind of come into play. But in accordance with first principles, the team allocation, that's not something that we are looking at as like, oh yeah, this is first principles. So I think that Jack incentivizing developers
I gotta go do some Jack updates
to build and giving them a share of the gas.
But
yeah, I think that's
if we're
huge.
gonna go first principles and we're gonna talk like
I don't know
Bitcoin,
if that's something Jack has been talking
where there
about,
was no allocation,
so I can't
the
touch on that. I
developers
gotta
developed
go do some
so
Jack
other
updates
people could
to,
use it because they
see,
wanted to benefit
it's an
from what they were
ever-changing evolution.
participating on. And
But
so that they knew
if
that
we're gonna
their
go
money
first
would
principles and we're
become
gonna
more
talk
money
like
if they
Bitcoin,
went and built something.
where there
And
was
so
no
there
allocation,
wasn't someone going and
the
saying, hey, I'm going to
developers
pay you to
developed
build something, or
so
hey, you
other
have an
people
idea.
could use it
They weren't
because they
selling
wanted to
ideas.
benefit
People
from what
weren't
they
buying
were
ideas. They were
participating
buying
on.
finished
And
projects.
so that they knew that their
And so
money would become more
there's two
money
options.
if
You
they
can
went
go
and built
outside of the
something.
Zen ecosystem
And so there wasn't
say,
someone
hey,
going and saying, hey, I'm going to pay you to build something.
I'm building
or, hey, you have an idea.
protocol
They weren't selling
on
ideas.
whatever
People
chain,
weren't buying ideas. They
and
were
you can
buying
go
finished
apply
projects.
for a grant.
And so
you don't need to go,
there's
and
two
then
options.
you can make it a
you
Zen
can go outside of the Zen
ecosystem project.
ecosystem.
You're
say,
using
hey,
that chain.
I'm
so
building a protocol on
inward
whatever chain
for money,
and you can go apply for a
all
grant.
the money that's been created.
You don't need to go, and then you can make it a Zen ecosystem project.
By the community.
You're using that chain. So
based off
like
of a protocol that is immutable
inward.
And so if people are making
all the money that's been created that's a
simple. If they're finding value in Zen,
so
why would you want to take value away from Zen for you to go build something?
And so
why would you expect that
money?
And I take a hard approach on this. This is
simple. If they're finding value in
because
Zen,
people always bring in
why
first
would you
principles.
Want to take value away from Zen for you to go build something? Why would
become a very dirty word.
And I take
it's
a
almost
hard
like
approach on
for a long time.
It sounds
anyone said, "Oh, that,"
because people always bring
Nazis.
in first principles.
Okay, and that's a very I literally just had someone put on a saw
it's become a very dirty word. It's almost like for a long time
the things that was going on
anyone
with
said,
with Russia and Putin,
they're Nazis.
And they were like,
okay,
and F that guy, he's
like
a Nazi.
I literally just had someone
he is
put
not.
Someone put on a post
the exact opposite of a Nazi. And when you go to the extremes of either sides,
with Russia and Putin,
and it can lead to bad things. And so just because a position of power that is used incorrectly,
he is the exact opposite of a Nazi.
By everyone
and when you go to the
extremes
of either side,
principles without backing it up, why is that not a first principle?
And so just because a position of power
if something is
that
immutable
is used incorrectly
and trustless, and
so
everyone has a fair chance at it,
the word in terms of
based on their economic
backing it up, why is that not a first principle? Then what?
Then
if something is immutable,
it's truly not fair, because if you have $1,000 and I have
everyone
$100,
has a fair chance at it.
Obviously, your economic power is going to go farther than mine. It depends on how much you want to commit. If you're like, if everyone in the protocol only has $100,
because if you have
like me, they're not going to want to waste it all. So I'm going to spend $90.
Power is going to go.
That guy that has $100, he's like,
it depends on how much you want to commit. If
I'm going to spend
$100. If everyone in the protocol only has $100, they're like me. They're not going to want to waste it all. So I'm going to spend $90.
Where Kool-Aid was,
that guy that has $100,
he was slightly right, he's like, and slightly
this is my only chance. I'm going to spend $100.
In his
he actually ends up coming out on top.
About
but what really
price action,
like where
not
Kool-Aid was
how deep the liquidity
he was slightly right,
it's how many
people
are trading it.
In his,
and so
his
how many people are in that protocol and using it, not just holding it,
price action,
but with it moving.
It's not the how deep the liquidity is; it's how many people are trading it.
You want to make a
and
protocol.
So
you want to
how many
something,
people are in that protocol
1,000
and
GitHub,
using it, not just holding it,
Gitcoin
but
grants
with it
you can
moving.
apply for. So to go build something on Web3,
where you want to make a protocol, you want to build something.
Get grants
there's
for building something in
1,000
Web3.
GitHub.
There are 1,000
Gitcoin grants you can apply
there's
for.
Millions.
So to go build
millions
something
of dollars
on Web3,
out there to go build something on Web3.
There are
so why do people expect the creator of something
in
to
Web3?
Then fund something
there
that they want to
build? There's millions upon millions of dollars out there to go build something on Web3. So why do people expect the creator of something to then fund something that they want to build?
Yeah, and I guess where I was coming from was kind of like and applying stuff that is non Web3 into this world. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, I was just kind of thinking that from like an old school mentality, and I really like what you're saying, man. It's like it's out there. It's like just go get it, and yeah, you shouldn't necessarily rely on the creator of these different protocols to have to give money or anything like that, incentivize in those ways. I think it's you're building it for the core reason of just for other users and by other users using it. I mean, everyone's going to benefit.
Well, just to kind of like even it's the promotion from Jack as well, right? Like Jack promoted, Zen Doge and Zen Lawn. These tokens, they got some press, So a little bit does come when you come with the Zen ecosystem. There are some incentives. I just believe there should be, some core values that we really, double down on. Like I said, the DBs and the Phoenix. And once we just stable up on these pillars, then we can spread out and we can say, hey, let's add another pillar. I think this is another core value of ours. So, I don't really think it's just paying people. I think the incentive is the community, but, it has to be quality enough to be a pillar, in my opinion. And it's just me, but yeah.
Yeah,
is quality and not quality. I think it really comes to
I agree with you on the quality.
Like
when it comes to
not
who
to get
who lays down that metric that something is
too lewd.
What
but there was
is quality
a
and not
protocol
quality.
project
I think it really
that
comes
I met
to letting the market
I'm friends
decide.
with the founder and stuff like that.
Like,
he made a betting
not to get
platform originally called Twatternaut,
too lewd,
and it used AI and created an image
a protocol
that
project
you had
that
to
I met
you
and
bet
and
and you
guessed with the founder and
what
stuff
that
like
was.
that. He made a betting
from there
platform.
You either won, and then it would zoom out, and it would and it used show you
AI
whether you were right or wrong.
Image.
And
you bet.
First
and
question I asked him, I'm like,
what that was.
How come you don't have any? If you have one in there, one genitalia, how come you don't have the other genitalia in there?
Show
and he's
you
like,
whether you were right or wrong.
Women degens aren't really, who knows what they're gonna. I'm like, one, you're targeting. Like, if you're targeting degens and they're on a gambling site, let the market decide whether or not they want to see both forms.
And he's like,
or you're just,
women degens
halving out
aren't
half
really,
of your possible target audience. Like, it could be the next parlor
targeting
game,
degens,
at
and they're on a gambling
bachelor
site,
party
or
a bachelorette party,
whether or not they want to see both forms.
And so, he went back to his team, and they talked for like 2 days, and he's like,
target audience.
Based on your feedback, we're renaming our project instead of Twatternaut to Cocker Twat,
or a bachelorette party,
or Twattercock. I don't remember.
So,
but
he went back to his team.
Doesn't mean
and
that quality of project
for 2 days,
for me.
He's like,
but that
based
quality
on your
of project,
feedback, we're renaming our project.
Instead of, and if you're just making a platform for people to use,
or
then
I don't remember.
Have fun with it.
Doesn't mean that
literally
quality of
you
project
can then let the market decide.
But that quality of project,
whether or not
decide.
You tried some shit,
and if you're just making a platform for people to use,
and you're doing some new shit,
then
and so that's market testing at its finest.
And so literally,
if anyone else wants to come be part of this conversation, would love more voices up here. Invites are open to everyone to come join us up on stage.
And you're doing some new shit.
If you're joining us via YouTube,
that's market testing at its finest.
Twitch, LinkedIn,
if anyone else
Discord,
wants to come be part of this conversation, would love more voices
Telegram,
up here.
Thank you, welcome.
Invites are
for those of us on
everyone
Twitter,
to come join us up on stage. If you're joining us via YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn,
we got
Discord,
we have,
or
Mansa joining us.
And
how
Telegram.
Are you doing today,
Thank you,
sir?
welcome. For those of us on Twitter, we have the stage, so
yay!
Let's go.
That we got 2 of us.
We have Mansa joining us. And how are you?
Yeah.
Anthem. I'm loving what you're talking about.
Yay! That means 2 of us do.
Right? That's how it feels, right? Like I was sitting up, and I was like having this idea, running it through and brain hard coding, if you will. You stop that shit. But I was basically just running a few applications, a few protocols that I feel like are missing in the game. And maybe they're not missing in the game. Maybe you can enlighten me, because I'm back over here in ETH world using some of this solidity skills that I've gained over time. And I definitely see, like, okay, Ethereum is so far beyond everyone else right now that it's crazy. But then at the same time, like, I don't see the frictionlessness, if that makes sense. Like, it's missing that.
I agree with you. We're still refining,
but has it been designed to a way that is going to be adopted by the 20%?
Originally there was going to be the merge.
No, I think we're still refining.
Verge.
Well, I agree with you. We're still refining, and we've
something
seen
else, and then the
pivot
for the 4 updates
the Ethereum Foundation has
to
made.
The blockchain moving
Because
from
originally there was going to be the merge,
and then with Shanghai, and then
Verge.
Most recent, new updates,
and then like
in
something
April.
else, and then the splurge.
But Vitalik's even said that they're going to pivot
the blockchain, moving from proof of work to proof of stake.
I agree with
and
you,
then,
the frictionlessness.
With Shanghai,
but
and then,
what they're going to just continue to build is the
recent,
behemoth that
new
continues to
updates done
just
in
keep
April.
moving no matter what.
But Vitalik's
and
even
that the
said
future
that they're going
is
to pivot.
layer 2s
And what
and roll-ups.
I agree with you, the frictionlessness.
Even layer 3s.
But what they're going to just continue to build is the behemoth that continues to just keep moving no matter what. And that the future is layer 2s and roll-ups and even layer 3s.
And
I was with
some of the stuff that they're doing on Avalanche.
One of the senior engineers from Avalanche and
Brian
senior
is just
BDs
sort of crazy sometimes
at a Crypto Monday 2 weeks ago.
He was like, there's I know layer 3s out there, that are gasless. Scale has its own. You can have your own chain within
Avalanche,
Scale. But layer 4s, layer 5s,
and what he's
even layer 6s.
But he was like,
that's
I know
when
layer
at,
3s out there, that are gasless.
level.
Scale has its own.
And
you can have your own chain within Scale.
The settlements,
but layer 4s, layer 5s,
piece,
even layer 6s.
That
he was like, that's when we're at.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Level,
or maybe you're talking about something else, but you're talking about mainly with the friction being the length of time to complete a transaction. Is that what or are you just talking about like user experience?
I think maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe you're talking about something else, but you're talking about mainly with the friction being the length of time to complete a transaction. Is that what or are you just talking about like?
Yeah, and it's very essence. It's exactly what you just said. Now we can just like transpose that concept onto like even the onboarding process, even the getting a wallet process, even the I want to engage with a dApp, right? And then you kind of get this this demonetized Web 2 onboarding where there's like, okay, well now you got to make an account, which is the equivalent of getting a wallet. You got to download this app and agree to all these terms and things like this. And you do all of that and just to use this app or just to subscribe to whatever this content is or data, so like it has to become simpler. It has to become easier. And you know what I mean? Like it has to become like as simple as Apple Pay. Like I bought something with Apple Pay yesterday. I think I paid for dinner.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember telling the app my name. I got in there and I was confused. I was like, I don't even remember entering my name. Is there an order for me? And they were like, yeah, there's an order for you. And it was that easy. Yeah. I didn't even realize that Apple had already taken care of that for me. And that's a level of design. That's a level of anticipation. Like we know what people expect. We know what people are used to. And I don't think that we can get them to like accept the beta, but I do think that we can excite a small otaku group that will then ignite and mobilize the 20%.
And bricks.
And how do we do that? I think through flamethrowers.
Bricks will bring along bricks. Financial bricks will bring on a new movement
not flamethrowers.
And I think it's very interesting, and
but
I am
not bricks like the financial bricks.
We'll talk. Okay. We're gonna put a pin in that.
Financial bricks will bring on a new movement in and of itself.
One of the things that you're talking about
and
you know,
I
is
think
the
it's
user
very
experience.
interesting. And I am,
You don't even need to
you
tell them
know,
they have a wallet.
we'll
They just
talk.
have an
That's
account.
okay.
How
we're
many
gonna fit
accounts do
in
you
that
have
phrase.
everywhere? A star
But
network.
I think one of the things
I
that
know,
you're talking about, you know,
I'm
is the user
I'm cool
experience.
friends with Dustin.
You don't even need to
One
tell
of
them they have
their
a
lead
wallet.
DBDs
They just have an
and
account.
devs
How many
and community
accounts do
managers.
you have everywhere?
And a
A star network.
Talk about user experience.
I know.
Okay, a star network partnered with Tokyo
I'm
Railway.
cool friends with Dustin.
So everyone that in Japan
one of
that
their
has
lead
that uses
DBDs
the railway
and devs
most
and community
likely has
managers.
the Tokyo Railway
And a
app.
star. Talk about user
And
experience.
for a month
okay?
and a
The
half,
Star
45
Network
days, they did a
partnered
test
with,
trial.
Tokyo
All
Railway.
of their tickets were NFTs.
So everyone that in Japan
and the users
that
didn't
has,
even know.
that uses the railway,
You know,
most
and
likely
so
has
when it
the
comes
Tokyo
to
Railway app.
account extraction to where
And
you
for a
know
month
you don't
and a
need
half,
to
45
save
days, they did a test
you know
trial. All of their
a key
tickets were
key
NFTs,
phrase anymore,
and the
you
users
don't
didn't
have
even know.
to
You know,
copy a
and
JSON
so
file.
when it comes
You don't have
to
to save your secret
account
recovery
extraction
phrase.
to where
You know, one that
you
takes a
don't need
little
to
bit of the
save,
security out of it.
you know,
Now you have someone else
key
to rely
phrase
on.
anymore. You don't
It
have
takes a little bit
to,
of the onus
you know,
off your shoulders and puts
copy
it
a
on someone
JSON
else to
file.
keep
You
your
don't have
account
to
safe, but
save
it
your
also
secret
still
recovery
is
phrase.
on you to keep
You know, one that takes a
your
little
email
bit of the
safe,
security
you
out of
know,
it. Now you have someone else
other
to rely on. It
identifiers
takes a
safe
little bit
as
of the
well.
onus off your
I
shoulders and
think
puts it on
Magic
someone
Link
else to keep
is,
your
you
account
know,
safe, but it
account
also still
extraction
is on you to
with
keep,
one click,
you know, your email
wallet,
safe,
account,
you know, and other
I saw one
identifiers
project
safe
that they
as
sort
well.
of they
I
erased the
think
word
Magic Link
Link from
is,
everything, and
you
they
know,
erased the
account
word
extraction
wallet, and
with
they
one
saved
click,
it as
wallet,
photo album.
account.
So you have a photo album that's tied, you know.
I saw one project that
they
sort of
and
they
so
they
you're just
erased the
collecting
word Magic Link
NFTs.
from
You
everything,
don't
and they
call them
erased
they
the
call
word
moments
wallet
or
and they
memories,
saved it
you know,
as
because they're
photo album.
pictures.
So you have a photo
Completely
album
in Web
that's
3,
tied, you know,
but the user doesn't even need to know
for that project,
or
and so
you know if they
you're
even
just
care
collecting
about that.
NFTs. You
But
don't
it's
call
there
them,
for
they
someone
call
to know about it
moments
because
or
it's
memories,
the settlement is
you know,
is
because
done
they're pictures.
multi-layered. Execution and settlement are two different things there,
Completely in
so
Web
it's
3,
instantaneous.
but the user doesn't even need to know that, or you know, if they even care about that. But it's there for someone to know about it because the settlement is done multi-layered. Execution and settlement are two different things there, so it's
I will say that I'm a dum-dum.
You know,
I didn't even, we
just
talked for an hour, almost an hour and a half. It was supposed to be a 15-minute interview on TacoBytes.
Protocol.
Turned into like an hour and a
Nautilus
half.
chain.
I didn't even get into tokenomics,
that I'm a dum-dum.
but basically just what they were doing as a payment processor for companies.
For an hour, almost an hour and a half. It was supposed to be a 15-minute interview on TacoBytes. Turned into like an hour and a half.
I knew that they had a token on two different chains.
And I didn't even get into tokenomics, but basically just what they were doing as a payment processor. I didn't even get into that conversation.
And the smart Degen in me would have been like, hey, I know they're about to go mainnet with their chain. I should go buy
a token on two different chains, on Solana and,
you know, and I put an alarm
on
BSC,
that pair, but I didn't even get into that conversation. And the smart Degen in me would have been like, hey,
I got a
I know they're about to go
pair is
mainnet
live
with their
and
chain.
I was like, oh,
I should go buy,
you know, buy $5 of that tomorrow.
You know, and I put an alarm on that pair.
When I then got on my computer and went and bought
8
that
o'clock at night, one night,
okay,
I got a notification.
And then I went to go look on chain activity. I was like, I missed the 400,000% X.
When I then got on my computer and went and bought that $5, I was like,
going live and depositing liquidity.
And then I went to go look on chain activity. I was like, I missed
there.
400,000%.
You know, we see there's so many cool projects that are just infrastructure based
of them, you know, going live and
building
depositing
such
liquidity
cool things that if we
dang,
limit ourselves, like I sort of said this from the beginning, you know,
but,
limit ourselves
you know,
to just
we see
the one ecosystem
so many cool
and relying on
projects
that
that are just
ecosystem to provide for us and not looking elsewhere
that
to build
are building
and to bring
such
to.
cool things that if we limit ourselves,
you know,
like I sort of said this
I
from the
think
beginning,
you know, limit
ourselves
you know,
to
a lot of
just
stuff can be built
the one
from
ecosystem
there.
and relying on that ecosystem to provide for
I want to
us
circle
and
back
not
real
looking
quick
elsewhere to build and
to
to
Kool-Aid,
bring to,
aka 007, so we all now know that I am not James Bond because James Bond and I are in the same room, but Batman is not here, so
I want to circle back real quick.
But Kool-Aid, I think you got disconnected when I was
007,
asking
so we
you
all
a
now
sort of
know
question. I
that
didn't know if you had
am
heard
not
that or
James
needed
Bond
me to reiterate on
because
that.
James Bond and I are in the same room, but Batman is not here. So
oh man, I'm
maybe.
gonna have to rewind the tape in my head.
But Kool-Aid, I think you got disconnected when I was asking you a sort of question. I didn't know
it
if
was
you had
about
heard
the
that or
liquidity
needed me to
piece. We
reiterate
were
on
talking about the liquidity piece of things
Yeah, I didn't hear
and
it.
how
oh man,
really on
I'm gonna
it
have to
wasn't
rewind the
the
tape in my
amount
head.
of liquidity in the pool that really affects the
It was
price
about
action.
the liquidity
It is
piece.
the
We were
amount of
talking about the
people
liquidity piece
that are
of things
participating,
and how
whether they're buying in or
really
selling
on
out.
it wasn't the amount
That
of
can
liquidity
really
in the pool
that drives
really
that price. So if
affects
there's
the
just
price
one
action.
person
It is the
that puts
amount
in a
of
lot,
people
then
that are
that price is
participating,
more stable.
whether they're
But if
buying
a
in
lot of
or
people
selling
are
out.
putting in,
Um,
and so by
that can
that's
really
where we see incentivization
that drives
to a
that
little
price.
bit
So if there's just one
to
person
drive
that
more
puts in a
people
lot,
to come
then
into
that
it.
price is more
I think
stable.
that
But if a
that was
lot
sort
of
of what
people
we were
are
talking
putting
about
in,
piece there.
and so
I don't know
by
if you remember.
that's where we
Can pull
see
a question out of that, or
incentivization
if you had
to a
more that
little
you
bit
wanted to say on that, because I
to
wanted you to
drive more
dive
people
deeper into
to come into it.
to your statement there
I
as
think
well.
that was sort of what we were talking about piece there. I don't know if you remember, can pull a question out of that, or if you had more that you wanted to say on that, because I wanted you to dive deeper into your statement there as well.
And I've just been like researching all LP types of situations, and I noticed it's easier to pump the price when there's lower liquidity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to make some type of thing where it, I don't know how to explain it. If they want to build some type of LP protocol, it's good to have them buy
and
first and then
I
stake.
think then I
like,
went and talked about sort of like what Phantasmo
some
had
type of
done and
mechanism
stuff
that
like
does
that with
because
their
then
farm.
you get the price increase plus you get the liquidity at the same time.
One of the things that we also
That's like
see
probably the
is
safest
like
way of doing
so
it.
there can be two stages of
and
LP
I think
as
then
well.
I went and talked about sort of like what
And
Phantasmo
NFT
had done and stuff like
Mensa,
that with their farm
I
pings.
will try to convince you to
one
go
of the
to the
things that
dark
we
side
also
of
see
Solana.
is like there
But
can be two
we
stages
see this
of
also in
LP
like different
as well.
protocols like
And
Trader
NFT
Joe has
Mensa,
them,
I
Camelot
will,
has them,
I
where
will
you
try
provide
to
LP
convince you to go
and
to
you
the
have
dark
those
side
LP
of Solana.
tokens, but then you have such belief in those
we see this
in
also
that
in like
protocol, you
different
go and stake those LP
protocols
tokens
like
to
Trader
now
Joe
farm.
has them.
We see
Camelot
that
has
Pancake
them, where you
Swap as
provide
well,
LP,
and I think we
and
see
you
that
have
in
those
Pulse
LP
Chain as well.
tokens,
So you can go
but
add
then
LP,
you have such
then you
belief
can
in
add
those
that
in
LP
that protocol, you go and
into
stake
a
those
farm
LP
for
tokens
incentivizing that.
to now farm.
And that sort of
We
doesn't
see that
lock it in
and Pancake Swap
because you
as
can pull
well,
out
and I
any
think
time.
we see that in
But
Pulse
that's
Chain as well.
your
So you
sort
can
of
go
like,
add LP, and
I
you
have
can
enough
add that
trust in this
LP
that I don't care what side of
into
the
a
what
farm
side
for
I end up
incentivizing
on.
that.
But
And
I
that
want
sort of
to support the
doesn't lock it
ecosystem, and
in
there's that
because you can
incentivization
pull
there.
out
Because
any time.
if you look at the
But
differences
that's
between
your sort of
V2
like,
and V1
I have enough trust
on
in this that I don't
Pulse
care
Chain,
what side of
it's super
what side I
heavy
end up
on V1 because
but I
people
want
aren't really
to
looking
support the
for that
ecosystem, and
trade
there's that
incentive.
incentivization there because if
They're
you
looking
look at the
for that
differences
long-term
between
incentive
V2
of
and
earning another
V1
token as well.
on Pulse Chain, it's super heavy on V1 because people aren't really looking for that trade incentive. They're looking for that long-term incentive of earning another token as well.
Well,
I
if
think
people
the
unstake
problem
their
with
liquidity
V1 is
from
the fact that
V1
like the
and
vampire
then moved
attack
it to
happened
V2,
in the past, right? So the majority of the
that can
liquidity is
happen.
still
They're not
stuck on V1. It
necessarily
can never actually be
the
moved over to
trades.
V2.
You know,
So
they
they're kind of
added
stuck
in
with it now.
auto router, so
Well,
if there's
if
better
people
liquidity on
unstake their
V2
liquidity from
on the
V1
swap side, so
and then
it
moved
will
it to
go for the best
V2,
trade, whether
it
it's
can
V1 or
happen.
V2. So
That
if the
can happen.
trade
They're
moves
not
to being a better trade
necessarily
in V2,
the trades.
the auto router will
They
go that
added
route.
in auto router, so if there's better liquidity on V2 on the swap side, so it will go for the best trade, whether it's V1 or V2. So if the trade moves to being a better trade in V2, the auto router will go that route.
I just mean like the liquidity that's just stuck from the fork. Because they vampire attacked like the majority of Uniswap, right? So everybody's funds on Ethereum, they're not their funds anymore.
I was
it's just
able to
Voltex's funds.
extract an
And those
LP
funds are
token
auto
that I
locked
had
in that V1 contract,
on
like nobody can move them. It's nobody's money.
that I had on Ethereum. That I was on the first day of trading. I was able to unlock that
extract an LP token that I had
and pull it.
I had to go.
I had to go to the contract because I couldn't find the LP token pairing.
First day of trading, I was able to unlock that
Pulse
LP
chain, you know, on the
because
because the liquidity pair was not showing up.
Oh, really?
And so I
had to go to the contract because I couldn't find the LP token pairing.
And then I went and I was a Degen, and I
Pulse chain,
went
you know,
and
on
did
the
some cool stuff.
because
But
the liquidity
that
pair
was
not
I
showing
think it was
up.
the only reason I was able to get
Were you
that done
able
was because
to
it was like
extract
the
the
first
coins that
2
were in it?
days of trading
Yes.
when it was all ratio
And
trading.
then I went and I was a
before they sort of
Degen,
locked
and
it in. I can
went
sort of
and did
see
some cool
your
stuff.
aspect
But
of
that was just I think it was the only reason I was able to get that
you know
done
what
was
they
because
you
it
know
was
what
like
they did is
the
they
first 2
basically
days of
copy
trading
pasted
when it was
over
all ratio trading before they sort of
and
locked
so
it in. I can sort of
I
see
think
your aspect.
one of the things
of,
there that what would then balances out those liquidity
what
pools
they did
is
is
one
they
you can
basically
create a brand new
copy-pasted over.
liquidity pool at your
And
own
so
price range piece, and that once
think
they
one of
upgrade
the
to a
things there
V3,
that
we'll see that a
what would
lot
then
easier.
balances out those
But
liquidity
it also was
pools
sort of creating
is one you
something
can
from
create
nothing,
a brand new
and
liquidity
it was
pool
it's on the market whether or not they
at
wanted
your
to
own
trade
price
that
range
piece.
piece, and that once they upgrade to a
I see a
V3, we'll
hand.
see that a lot easier. But it also was sort of creating something from nothing, and it's on the market whether or not they wanted to trade that piece. I see a hand.
Okay, so V3, right? I just had my first experience with V3 during a launch, and we set the minimum sell price, and everything was going good, man. We actually were able to we hit the bots for like 4 ETH, like off the rip, because they weren't able to dump, and we weren't dumping, so it was all good. And when we put it but the issue was for the score. And a lot of people in the community, and I got outranked, but a lot of people in the community were like, well, our score is low, and we need to do X, Y, Z in order to make our score high. And they wanted to lock the LP tokens, and pretty much voted to do so. And so you can't lock the NFT from what we researched.
So the only way that I've
way
seen
for you
that
to
done is
lock
they
the NFT
actually
because
they don't lock
I felt
them.
like the NFT
there's
serves
multi-sig
as
vaults that
a
you can put them in,
I guess,
and
farming system.
like Magna
But,
Protocol does that.
So the only way that
and
I've
what they
seen
do,
that done is they
and then that
actually
shows up
they
as an
don't lock
on-chain.
them. There's
lock.
multi-sig vaults.
The other thing that I've seen other projects do,
Magna
and you might hate this because you're
you
backplant,
and what they
trying
do,
to undo work that you've done sometimes sucks because it's either impossible to do.
The other thing that I've seen
or
other
you just have to take a really big.
You might hate this because trying to undo work that you've done sometimes
and
sucks
sending them to a dead
either impossible
address.
to do, or you just have to take a really big bite. Is burning those NFTs and sending them to a dead contract address.
I didn't have the guts to do that. I'm gonna be real. When that came up, it was like pull the trigger. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna have my signature on there. I need to do more research. But because what if something changes? You know what I mean? For example, staking. But there's no need to stake. I don't think with the V3. There's no need to stake. But it doesn't show up. Oh yeah, it's all about that score. What about the people in the community that are like, we want to raise the score, and then we got to do stuff for the score. I don't believe in score. I personally am a dollars and cents guy.
The scoring also comes to market
if our
sentiment.
score could be
if you're
one out of a million,
Dex Screener,
if we got
Dex
$1 billion
tools,
in
and you're
liquidity,
looking at their scoring
happy.
systems, those are proprietary.
It comes to markets. The scoring also comes to market
systems.
Sentiment. If you're looking at
you can also add in
Dex
you
Screener
can do
or Dex tools,
I can
and you're
connect
looking
you
at
with
their
the teams
scoring
at,
systems.
at Hackin
Those are
or
proprietary,
and they have their own scoring
proprietary.
systems.
Scoring
you can
systems.
submit your
you can also
your
add in
contract
you can
to
do,
other protocols.
I can connect you with the teams at
like
Hackin or
and other stuff like that,
and they
or
have their own scoring
and
systems.
find out what their different criteria are.
You can
and work to
submit
meet those.
your
what's great
contract
is
to other protocols.
There's protocols and projects that
their job and other stuff like that, or
to raise your overall score
find out what
against
their different
everyone's
criteria
proprietary scoring
and work
system.
to meet those.
And know that there's
what's great is like
having stuff then moved
you
into
know,
like
there's
multi-sigs,
protocols and projects that
time
their
locks,
job is
contracts and
to
stuff
raise
like
your
that.
overall
So you can
score
put those
against
NFTs
everyone's
into
proprietary
a
scoring
time-locked
system.
vault.
And so that there's having stuff then moved into
whether
like
it's on
multi-sigs,
I
time
think
locks,
Dodo
contracts and
Dex
stuff
has
like
some of that stuff.
So you can put those
I
NFTs
think
into a
you
time
can
locked vault.
reach out with like the Uniswap team.
Whether it's on ETH.
There's a ton of protocols out there
Dodo
what you
Dex
can do to
has
make
some of that
your
stuff.
proprietary scores
I think,
higher.
you can
but also by
reach
just
out
showing
with, like, the Uniswap team,
being in a multi-sig to begin with, because you can
there's a
deposit
ton of protocols
all of those,
out there.
those NFTs
What you
into
can
a
do
multi-sig
to make your proprietary scores
that way
higher.
as well.
But also by
or
just showing
what you could do if you really
being in a
wanted
multi-sig to begin
is
with,
you could take those V3
you can
positions
deposit all of those,
and you could
those
create your own
NFTs
LP
into a multi-sig
pool out of those V3 positions by
that way as
depositing
well.
those V3 tokens.
Or
so
what you could do if you really
that
wanted
way
to
you have
is you
I
could
think,
take those V3
Power
positions
City
and you could
has
create
that
your
to
own
where
LP
it's like an
pool
LP
out of those
token,
V3 positions
so
by
two
depositing
tokens
those V3 tokens,
paired
so
to another LP token or paired
that
to a
way
single token.
You have, I think
there's really cool ways
Power
that you
City
can do that.
has that to where it's like
I've
an
seen,
LP token
on Optimism.
so
I
two tokens
think it was like a
paired
3-stage lock
to another LP token
so
or paired to a single
it was,
token.
I gotta get
There's
a piece
really
of paper
cool ways that
I
you
don't
can
want
do that.
to like say this.
I've seen
it was
on Optimism.
OP.
I think it was like a 3-stage lock. So
that
it was. I got to get a piece of paper because I don't want to like missay this.
I think it was. So it was ETH and Doge paired to Optimism and ETH. That was then turned into those LP tokens were then turned into another LP token.
I think it was.
So and then that was paired to USDC.
Paired.
So they were trying to do like this multi-stage lock, and whether they were doing that for
that
fun,
was then turned into
someone
those
did
LP
that for the
tokens
heck
were
of
then
it.
turned into another LP.
But it was getting a lot of incentive
and
bribes
then that was
within
paired
the
to USDC.
Optimism protocol. So I think there was.
So
some
they were trying
project
to do like this
behind
multi-stage
well.
lock, and whether they were doing that for fun, someone did that for the heck of it. But it was getting a lot of incentive bribes within the Optimism protocol. So I think there was some project stuff behind that as well.
Thanks for that, man. That's very informative. I'm definitely, I took notes and I will be researching all of this. And yeah, because we found that a lot of stuff could be done through the smart contracts. Like even the smart contract could act as a a holding, I guess, wallet or whatever. And we could basically use other tokens to either vote or have governance, and it's very, very interesting. So, but that is also, even more, I guess, cherries and whipped cream, because I didn't even think about
City, they're not
creating
live. They're still doing
another
testnet
volatile
and
pool,
stuff like that,
and then using it as a stabilizer.
The Power City team.
Yeah, that gets
is amazing.
It's interesting.
It's
interesting.
Really cool
Power City, you said, right?
I think there's.
Power City, they're not live. They're still doing testnet.
Guys and gals.
Like that.
Amazing
the
people.
Power City team. Is amazing.
And I've
a
seen
really cool group of guys. I think there's
V pools,
gals
then tied to
them. So yeah, guys and gals.
Stable pool. So then you take a volatility pool, volatile pool, and tied it, LP'd it against a stable pool. So there's
V pools,
you can just
then tied to
if we're talking account extraction, you can have a
stable
wallet
pool.
inside
then
of
you take a volatility pool,
NFT inside
pool,
an NFT
and tied it,
inside an
LP'd it
NFT
against
inside an
stable
NFT inside an NFT inside an NFT.
You can just if we're talking account extraction, you can have a wallet.
What's really cool about the 6557
NFT
is it's
inside an
backward
NFT
compatible.
inside an NFT inside an NFT inside an NFT.
Yeah, there's just some of the
and
cool stuff. NFT Mensa, I gotta put you on the spot
65
just because
it's backward compatible.
This title of this TacoBytes Your Daily Bite of Degen episode number 317 is literally
there's
called
some,
Project
some of the
Recaps.
Cool stuff, NFT nuts.
Can I put you on the hot seat for a minute and tell me about this project?
This title of this TacoBytes Your Daily Bite of Degen episode number 3.
Oh my God, are you part of the BJesus team?
Project Recaps. Can I put you on the hot seat for a minute and tell me about this project?
Okay, this is called Be Jesus.
Okay.
Oh my God, are you part of the Be Jesus team?
No, they have disbanded. Like, there's no core team. They are done. It was Immaculate Conception now. So now it's like it's like a skunk team, right? So the skunk team is but there are to my amazement, there's like there's a couple people who just really want to use this IP, man. Like even I'm like thinking on the next level of like, how do we take this meme to the next level? You know what I mean? So and I'm just a meme addict, man. You know I was talking about meme wars in 2020. I've been stoking the flames, trying to get everybody to fight and do like a WWE, but everybody's been like, kumbaya, like, no, let's just be all peaceful. I'm like, yo,
I
if
don't
we
know.
trying to sell tickets to Web3,
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Let me tell you
something. You might not have ever heard of this
fastest way to
Are you doing anything on meme chain?
It's be a meme.
Come on, man.
Okay.
There's I don't know.
Oh my
God. Are you doing anything on this? I'm going to put you on the spot.
To touch back
you might
on
not
Black
have ever
Jesus.
heard of this chain. Are you doing anything on meme chain?
No.
Oh my! I used to watch the show Black Jesus on Adult Swim.
Oh my God!
I thought that stuff was the hilarious.
Meme chain. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Well, I gotta ask, was the Black Jesus?
Oh my! I used to watch the show
Rise
Black
to the Jesus
on
token
Adult
that came
Swim.
up.
I thought that stuff was the hilarious. That was the best.
Which came up as a response to the Islam chain token that came up.
Jesus in Rise to the Jesus token that came up.
Okay, so here's the story. Yes,
which came up as a response to the Islam chain token.
I mean, we're just following. We're just following the trends, man. Following the trends. But again, you just have to be better. I'm not gonna say better. That's too strong a word. But I think your memes need to be a little bit more powerful, and they got to move the people. And as long as we're moving people with memes, we're happy.
Yeah.
We're super happy. So we got us, and then we have a couple people in the
I would
team.
Like to make my suggestion of a correction.
It's a super decentralized
that you remove the term
thing that I've never seen anything work like this. It's amazing.
The simple fact that when communities sort of take over a project.
I would like to make my suggestion of a correction
they might not be the founder of it, but if something got abandoned and got picked up by the community,
simple fact that
why is that? Why are you going to downgrade yourself any less than
doesn't make they might not be the founder of it, but if something got abandoned and got picked up by the community
on Solana.
Why is that? Why are you going
to downgrade now is not the Samo team that created the token, or the original project behind it. It is the first meme token, token and dog token. To take off on Solana.
The Samo team that is in place now is not the Samo team that created the token.
And right now, they're building
the original project behind it.
With MasterCard.
It is the first meme
program
to
where you can use your Samo to buy stuff.
Take off on
and they're building. They had their first test demos
during the hackathon, and right now they're building. They partnered with MasterCard
for events and
program,
stuff like that
so where you can use your Samo
to pay someone or
and they're building,
charge someone
they had their first
by tapping wristbands together and then doing an action on your phone on the app. Like, are you paying or are you
for
events and
stuff
receiving?
like that you could load up and that you could either pay someone
paying for something at like a vendor.
And
they're just taking this tech stuff to a whole other level.
An action on your
seen
phone on the app.
memes
like,
off of
are you
memes,
paying
like
or
are
you
Bonk
receiving?
at the beginning of the year really take off.
Paying for something at like a vendor.
50% of that supply was airdropped.
They're just taking this tech stuff to a whole
NFT
other level.
communities that were like
we've seen the memes off of memes, like we saw
50 NFT communities
at the beginning
and
of the year really take off.
Airdropped the holders.
And that,
as soon as I got that free money,
airdrop
I did what any good
NFT
DJ would do,
that were like
and
the most,
I sold half of
I think
it,
they picked the top,
and then I paired it and put it in an
50
LP
NFT
pool,
communities,
you know, to
and
give
then
back,
they
you know, because there was some
airdropped the
awesome
holders.
incentives
You know,
on
as
it.
soon as I got that free money,
And
you know, I did what
you
any good
know,
DJ would do, and I sold
I have
half
a
of
token
it,
that I really
and
like
then
on
I
Solana,
paired it and put it in an
and
LP pool.
you know, so it
You
has
know,
an
to
LP
give back,
pool.
you know, because
Well,
there was
I
some
went
awesome
and made a farming
incentives
LP
on that.
pool with it and converted it to
And
and put incentive tokens
I
for
have a
people to
token
go
that I really like
incentivize,
on
and
Solana,
moved it from a V2
and
pool
you know,
and
so
paired
it
that
has an
pool into
LP
a
pool.
V3,
Well, I
so
went
people would
and
get
made
a
a
better
farming
yield.
LP pool with it, and
You know, but no
converted
one's
it
really
to
doing
a,
that. I think
you know,
me and like
and
2 other
put
people
incentive
But
tokens
that's all right.
for people to go
I get the
incentivize,
shit
and you
tokens
know,
I put
moved it from a
in there
V2
back.
pool and paired that
So
pool into a V3,
that's
so people
fun.
would get a better
But
yield.
I wanted to do that
You know,
just to
but no
sort
one's
of
really
as
doing
my
that.
little
I
way
think
of
me
giving
and
back
like
to the
2 other
community
people
because
are.
you know
But
the
that's all right.
projects
I
are
get
getting smarter and
the
they're
shit
not
tokens I
providing
put
liquidity.
in
They're
there
letting the
back.
community do that
So
because communities
that's
cannot
fun.
provide their own
But
liquidity because that is
I
against
wanted
the
to do
rules.
that just to sort of as my little way of giving back to the
And they're
community,
trying to
because you know
future-proof
the
themselves, so they're
projects
not a target
are
for
getting smarter,
the
and they're not
great
providing
and wonderful
liquidity. They're
Gary
letting the
Gensler
community do that
and his
because
merry
communities cannot
band
provide
of
their own liquidity
thieves.
because that is
Merry
against the
band of
rules.
thieves? I don't know. I don't think they're happy.
And they're
I
trying to
send hearts
future-proof
to Gary. I
themselves,
send
so they're not a
GMs to Gary
target for
Gensler occasionally.
the great and wonderful Gary Gensler
You know,
and
shower
his
him with memes
merry
of happiness.
band of thieves.
So,
Merry band of
but
thieves? I don't
man,
know. I don't
Black
think they're
Jesus, I
happy.
love it. You know,
I send hearts to Gary. I send
what's
GMs
next on
to
the
Gary
Black
Gensler
Jesus roadmap?
occasionally. You know, shower him with memes of happiness. So, but man, Black Jesus, I love it. You know, what's next on the Black Jesus roadmap?
Man, that's the big. You know what? I can only speak for what we're doing and what we're working on. One of the things that we want to build out. It's probably gonna be my first real Ethereum project. It's so simple. You might laugh at it, but I want to create like a little plugin or embed that you can basically accept Black Jesus on your either Shopify or whatever your website. Some simple code, add it to your website. Bam, you're in business. So if I can do
where
that
people can pay
for
buy things with Black Jesus,
a regular HTML Webflow page or something like that, and get it working for this new website I'm going to make for it, get that code out.
So where people can buy things with Black Jesus?
Yes, sir. So we already have like a gang of people that would just like totally accept it. Like we already have like a partnership, but we want it to be easily accessible because we don't want people. I'm not saying we don't want people liquidating, but if you're selling out just because you can't get this thing, we want to make this thing available for you, so you don't necessarily have to,
just
because
so
there's gonna be fees involved in that. You can pay
I did this for a project. I've done this for a couple projects.
Over to someone that accepts it.
I don't know if you know this, but Shopify. Anyone that has a Shopify business can accept crypto. They have a list of about, I think, about 120. I hate saying this.
I don't know if you know this, but
120
Shopify,
cryptos.
Anyone that has a Shopify business can accept crypto.
But now, like heck, you can even use XRP for payments on Shopify. Using the crypto payment gateway.
120 cryptos.
But I went and helped a couple meme tokens. Partner up with there's 3 different backend exchanges that Shopify works with. And if you get listed with partner with any of those and go through their list piece,
meme tokens, partner
any
up with
any Shopify
there's
business
3 different
that has crypto payments turned
backend
on
exchanges
can
that
automatically
Shopify works with. That if you get
whatever
listed
token is
with
one
any
of those,
partner with any of those and go through their list
exchange pieces,
any Shopify business that has crypto payments turned on can automatically accept whatever token is one of those, from one of those 3 exchange pieces.
Yeah, no, I love
those are bars.
Projects.
Those are high level.
I was just laughing about Black Jesus the other day.
Thanks.
So
appreciate you, Taco. I want you to know this is not going just like
But no, there's so many cool meme projects out there that
I love hearing about new
the internet
projects
was
and
literally
the fact
built on
I was
cat
just
memes
laughing about
and
Black Jesus the other day.
porn. So
So I had seen something.
we're seeing the next generation of gig workers move into
there's
Web3
so many
and
cool meme
content
projects
creators
out
moving
there
into
that
Web3 that have
the internet was
control
literally
of their
built on
content.
cat
So like that
memes
might not be
and
content they always
and
want to
porn.
be a part of. And so
We're seeing the next generation of gig workers move into Web3 and
I know
content
Rachel,
creators moving into Web3 that
and
have
Jessica
control of their
from
content. So
Rogue
like
Bunnies.
that might not be
And
content
they
always want to
launched
be a
Rogue
part
Bunnies
of.
on Flow
And
Chain.
so,
The reason they launched it on Flow Chain is because
like,
Flow Chain is basically a KYC chain.
I know Rachel.
Best thing Rachel ever did
and
as a
Jessica
Playboy Bunny was
from,
she got
Rogue
written
Bunnies.
contracts
And
from Hugh
they
Hefner
launched Rogue
that
Bunnies
she
on
can
Flow
use
Chain, and the reason they launched it on Flow Chain
the
is because
Bunny
Flow
and
Chain is
Playboy
basically
IP
a KYC chain.
in any future project that she
Best
wants.
thing Rachel ever did as a Playboy Bunny
and
was she got
like whether she knew what she wanted to do
from Hugh Hefner that she
2
can
decades
use
ago or not,
the Bunny
she,
and Playboy
but
IP
that was a deal that
in
she got,
any future project that
and
she wants.
like then launched Rogue Bunnies
and
last year.
Like
and
whether
so
she
we
knew
see
what
that,
she wanted to
like,
do
that might not be something that they
2 decades
always
ago
want to do
or not,
and so that they can then give
that was a deal that
replacements
she
to
got.
individuals like, hey,
And
this content
then,
creator doesn't want
Rogue Bunnies
this out
last
there
year,
anymore.
and so we see that
But
like
you can
that
have
might
the
not be
options of
something that
these
they
to switch
always
it out
want to
with,
do,
and
so that they can
obviously
then
people can
give
always right click
replacements to
save
individuals
those
like, hey,
JPEGs, but
this
the
content
actual
creator doesn't
tradable
want
pieces,
this out there anymore.
content creators can have control
But
over it, which
you
is
can
pretty
have the
cool.
options of these to
and
switch it out with.
and lays down a whole nother net of both
obviously
safety
people can always right click
and
save those JPEGs, but the actual tradable
circumstances.
pieces,
So
content creators
we're
can have
seeing
control
the
over
power
it,
of
which
memes.
is pretty cool. And
I love the
lays
fact that
down
we
a whole nother
use
net of both
standard
safety
market
and
technical analysis
life
tools
change circumstances
for a market that is open.
We're seeing the power of
Monday,
memes,
Thursday,
and I love the fact that we
9:30
use
to 4:30
standard market
off on holidays and weekends. We're using those
tools
to predict
for a market that is open
24/7,
Monday through
not
Thursday,
geo-fenced, and
9:30 to 4:30,
memes.
off on holidays and weekends. We're using those tools to predict a market that is open 24/7, not geo-fenced, and controlled by memes.
You gotta love memes, man. You gotta love memes. Like, I'll just say this. BGs has been good to me, and because BGs has been so good to me, I just gotta pay it forward. I got a little time on my hands, so I feel like
the art of Tezos.
I went and really learned a lot about Solidity just because I wanted to launch a project on Ether. But then I got roped into this Tezos cult, and I just kind of like, nah, let me just throw my degree away.
Tezos
is
doing a
the art
really
of Tezos.
good job.
They got me. I was number one
mainstreaming.
Tezos fanboy.
Like if you go to the MoMA in the Museum of Modern Art in New York,
I have a
they
few
have this
Tezos
amazing
NFTs. I think Tezos is doing a
it's
really good job
it's
for
probably not
mainstreaming.
It's got to be like 40
like
feet
if you
tall
go to the
by
MoMA
like 30 feet wide.
in the
AI
Museum of
projection
Modern Art
of like
in New York,
so that
they have this
uploaded
amazing
images of all of the art in the MoMA.
It's got to be.
AI
it's probably
is
not.
Technically,
it's got to be like 40
dreaming,
feet tall by like 30
the images
feet wide.
It creates is sort of like a mishmash of what it's dreaming from different art pieces. And you can sometimes see things, but it's like almost like a Rorschach
in the MoMA. And the AI is technically supposedly dreaming,
test,
and the images it creates is sort of like
so
a
you can see your
mishmash
own
of what it's
stuff there,
dreaming
whatever
from
you want to
different
see.
art pieces. And
but
you
it's
can
going
sometimes see things, but it's like almost like a Rorschach.
But what they have is a QR code on the wall that if you scan it, it brings you.
I think that's the right way to say that.
Straight to.
So you can see your own stuff there.
I think
whatever
the
you want to
wallet's
see.
called Anatomy.
But it's going 24/7.
It's a Tezos wallet.
But what they have is a QR code on the wall that if you scan it brings you straight to it. It loads up.
I don't know. I think stuff like that is pretty cool.
The wallet's called Anatomy.
I think
it's a Tezos wallet.
Tezos
and it
is also providing
the art
infrastructure to the state of California for.
So I don't know. I think stuff like that is pretty cool.
Titles. Yes.
Tezos is also
so that's some cool stuff there.
infrastructure to the state of
Yeah,
California
and then
for
if you really want to get into art, go get into Drip House on Solana.
Titles?
I get
Yeah, titles.
an
Yes.
NFT airdrop to
Yep.
me
So that's some cool
almost
stuff
every
there.
day. I get one or two
Yeah,
art
and then
NFTs
if you
airdropped
really
to me
want to
for
get
free.
into art,
So,
go get into Drip House
Yeah.
on Solana. I get an NFT airdrop to me
that's a pretty cool
almost
thing there.
every day. I get one or two art
Yeah.
NFTs airdropped to me
Drip
for
House.
free.
I will go.
So
So normally I just keep the video feed.
you know, I think that's a pretty cool thing.
You call it
up on
Drip
the
House
Jumbotron,
or
but since
Drip
I love
House?
Drip
Yeah.
House so much,
Drip House.
and the
I
amount
will
of
go.
artists,
So normally I just keep the
so
video
people can go find it on their own. I'm gonna
feed.
put this in the Jumbotron. Boom.
Up in the Jumbotron, but since
Yep,
I
there we go.
love Drip
It
House
is in
so
the
much,
Jumbotron.
and the amount of artists,
And so
people can go find it on their own.
you basically just connect your Solana wallet,
Boom.
sign in, sign up, pick which artists you want to get free art from, and boom.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can say thanks to those artists, and
you basically
donate to
just
them,
connect your
and
Solana
100%
wallet,
of all proceeds
sign
go back
in,
to the
sign
artists.
up,
And if not, you
pick
don't
which
have to.
artists you want to get free art from, and
so that's
boom.
some cool stuff
and
there.
if you want, you can say thanks to those artists and donate to them, and 100% of all proceeds go back to the artists. And if not, you don't have to.
What you can do on Solana is amazing.
Choice.
And since you're really working out on your Solidity skills,
that's some cool stuff there.
Look at
turning people to the dark side of Solana.
I can connect you with the team over at Axelar. But they're interoperable.
What you can do on Solana is amazing.
Solidity palettes.
And since you're
so
really working
on
your Solidity skills,
and it's good on
look at
every chain.
If you want, I can connect you with the team over at Axelar.
Yeah.
But they're interoperable Solidity palettes, so that you can launch one contract, and it's good on
and I will
every
get that
chain
for you. Connect you to the team.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I need that link, man. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, send me a DM.
Does
Let's
that mean
connect
I'm behind on messages? I hate being behind on messages.
And I will get that for you. Connect you to the team.
No.
Hey, I'm just sitting there like a middle child
no,
on DMs.
No, infamous. As I like to say, my life is crypto, cigars, and caffeine.
Does that mean I'm behind on messages?
By me,
No, you're famous, man. I'm just, I'm just trying to get some knowledge out here. Goodwill Hunting.
No. But no.
No.
Yay, we got a Bejeezy in the house.
As I like to say, my life is crypto, cigars, and caffeine.
All right. What else you been looking at? What else you been working on? What other project recaps do you want to go over?
So, but no. Yay, we got a Bejeezy in the house. Man. All right. What else you been looking at? What else you been working on? What other project recaps do you want to go over?
Man, I guess the big one for me, the one I kind of been doing the most is the mimes and music NFTs, really trying to pioneer that, as far as but there's some business that needs to be taken care of, so I got some consultations I'm gonna take. One of these is kind of pricey though. It's like $6,000. Damn, bro.
I spend my time as a consultant
to figure something out
so
that's probably free on YouTube. But
and
sometimes you gotta pay the fee, man, because I don't feel like taking a million years.
Yes, everyone can figure everything out. There's a YouTube video for that.
I spend my time as a
how quickly do you want it done, and do you want a warm introduction?
I understand that, and that's I'm like, yes, you could. Yep. Everyone can figure everything out. There's a YouTube video for that.
It is one of those things.
But how quickly do you want it done, and do you want a warm introduction?
I want it done today or tomorrow, and I know that costs money.
I've done some
so
stuff with
I'll
Spotty
pay it,
Wi-Fi.
It's time travel.
If you get a chance, check out Showtime.xyz.
Yes. It is one of those things.
You can collect free NFT, music NFTs. I think
there's some cool stuff
5 a
with
day.
Music.
Every day or something like that.
I've done some stuff with Spotty Wi-Fi.
Every Tuesday, I get a new tune dropped on Taco Tuesday.
Showtime.xyz.
Yeah,
you can collect free NFT, music NFTs.
I've done some
5
cool
a day
stuff with Gala
or
Music,
something like that. Part of Drip House. Every Tuesday, I get a new tune dropped on Taco Tuesday. So there's some cool stuff out there.
I'm friends with Taco Gala. And me and Taco Gala became friends simply because we got confused.
Gala Music.
Because I'm Taco and he's
they
Taco.
They launched a really cool.
But that led to a really amazing partnership and friendship that might lead into a conference called Taco
me and Taco Gala became friends simply because we got confused. because I'm Taco and he's Taco.
That's some cool stuff. Gala Music is pretty cool on what
that
they're
led to a
building
really amazing partnership and friendship that might lead into a conference called TacoCon. So, yeah, that's some cool stuff. Gala Music is pretty cool on what they're building out. Yeah,
I've just been over here in the notes, man. You've been dropping gems. I mean, these are the type of spaces I'm into, you know, where I can, I leave with just a whole bunch of homework, and then it just, you know, makes me a better developer. So, yeah, you know, I want to know what's out, you know, so I'm not doing extra work for no reason, you know, trying to develop something that's already finished. Let's just work on something that's not finished, you know, like, so I have a question, since I know you know so much about it. As far as like as a payment processor, right? Like I service designed something, I think it was on Phantasma, like early on in 2020, and you know, it was like a clothing item, and we were able to like pretty much use the embedded link to kind of like zero out everything and even get to the shipping part, but like it wasn't Web 3, you know what I mean? Like it had a lot of Web 2 in it, you know. It was kind of like Web 2 wrapped in an NFT. So if we could get past that, I think, you know, we could look at, you know, we could start to see transactions and volume just grow exponentially because we can actually utilize some of these tokens that we have, you know. And one of the things with Tezos for me was it's not like if you go to Udemy and you look up a Tezos course.
It's
not going to be a Tezos
class
course.
action lawsuit.
You know, and as comprehensive as they may think, you know, some of their tools are. You know, I learned Python. I still don't
giving out user information and selling it to third parties.
There's actually a class action lawsuit against.
Not saying Udemy's bad.
Right
Udemy is an amazing.
For
Udemy
giving out
Udemy is
user information,
Udemy
selling
is
it
an
to third
awesome
parties.
Spot. Here,
not saying Udemy's bad.
No, I need my money. All you said is I need to go file something.
They just went live last week.
Udemy is
you're going to be
Udemy is an awesome
floored
spot
by their name because you would never know what you're learning
just launched
by their name.
They just went live last week,
and they are now in the jumbotron. Learn Web3 DAO. Free program that will turn you into a Web3 developer,
because
and
you would never know
while you learn
what you're learning by their name.
So they go through everything from Java to Python.
Free program that will turn you into a Web3 developer,
which is the language for
like
Kadena. You know,
so,
there's free
and
code
they go through everything from Java.
Unit does
to Python,
awesome stuff. There's so many cool developer learning
Hack,
courses.
Which
you don't
is
know anything
the language for like
other than how
Kadena,
to click buttons and
download
things.
Free
they
code
literally
camp,
walk you through everything. One of the first
Unit
projects that
awesome
I went
stuff.
to
There's so
went
many
through to
cool
help
developer
with my
learning
Solidity
courses.
skills.
You don't know
was,
anything
Crypto Zombies.
other than how to click buttons and download things.
Crypto Zombies.
They literally walk you through
made
everything.
A zombie making factory.
One of the first projects that I went through to help with my Solidity skills
There's some fun
was
stuff.
Crypto Zombies. Right? Yeah, Crypto Zombies, and I made a zombie making factory. You know, so.
Yeah, I need some projects like that, and like just to get the basics of just connecting the wallet and just handling some basic stuff, you know, just because the design, you know, I'm pretty good on the I guess what interface, GUI graphic interface or whatever. Like that's easy. It's just connecting those few dots, and then once that's popping, you know, and you know, doing the contracts correctly, we can have, like you said, some real fun, and I really want to like experiment with augmented reality in some type of way with the mimes, because we have all this like extra IP. So, you know, just trying to figure out how to like, because we got this invisible box thing that's a lot like Drip, right? So I want to do something with like a mixture between AR and real like magic,
like,
bro. I don't know any other way to say it.
Snapchat
I've been looking up ways to make
really
it like a
AR
physical object look invisible. And maybe that sounds crazy. And maybe I do too many extracurricular
does as well.
things.
No, well, you can do like
so does
Snapchat.
TikTok
has some really good AR tools.
We've seen what Pudgy Penguins has done with the AR side of things.
Instagram
look
does
at
as
what
well.
Tetra
is
doing.
So does
as well. Let's see here. I know Tetra.
We've seen what Pudgy Penguins
Buckets
has done with the
Tetra.
AR side of things.
So where's Buckets?
Look at what
Buckets
Tetra is doing.
And OD
as
Labs.
well. Let's see here.
So yeah, and then I'm gonna just
Tetra.
tag you. I'm gonna just tag
Buckets
you there.
Is part of Tetra. So where's Buckets at? Let's go find Buckets. Buckets and
boom.
OD Labs.
Boom. There.
So yeah, and then I'm gonna just
go back
tag you.
I'm
gonna
just
connect
you
tag you there. Boom. Boom. There. And I'm gonna go back one, and I'm gonna connect you with Buckets.
So yeah, there we go. What OD Labs and Tetra's doing on like the AR stuff.
Boom. Done.
They're doing like augmented reality on.
So yeah, there we go. What OD Labs and Tetra's doing on like
this
the AR
cool
stuff.
As heck. But what we're building,
they're doing like augmented reality
is
on
just
chain.
Scratching the surface.
So
if
this stuff is cool as heck. But what we're building is just scratching the surface.
Okay, so Taco, you're on the hot seat now. What's going on? What do you know all this? You're connected with everybody. What are you working on?
Me, so I run a
what's
consulting
on
agency.
your roadmap? Because I'm super interested with
A to Z.
Such a backing.
So
of,
I help projects.
Your network and knowledge.
What I like to say is I like to work myself out of a job because.
I run a consulting
in those plug and play
agency.
connections on growth, on infrastructure building and the tech connections.
So I help projects.
Raising
what I like
funds.
To say is I like to work myself out of a job because
I get hired for a lot of different things.
In those plug and play connections
and usually
on growth,
in the 3 to 4 month range
infrastructure
because
building and the tech connections.
I feel that as a consultant,
raising funds.
I am doing something long
I get hired
term,
for a lot of different things.
That can be done in a short term. I'm
usually
sort of
in the 3 to 4 month range because
my goal
that as a
is yes to get paid, but I also want to earn equity as a
doing
bonus
something
because
long term.
That's sort of
that can be done in a short term. I'm sort of
having a
bleeding
stake
something
in the future
dry.
of things.
I guess because my goal
really
is
sort of
to get
showcases
paid,
my
but I
piece
also
of
want
it,
to earn
but also then
as a bonus
what that looks like long term.
That's sort of what I believe in.
I run 0x
having a
Degens.
stake
That is
in the
my
future of
like
things.
the top of my pyramid, and so
really
I help
sort of
with anything
showcases
A to Z.
my piece of it, but also then
officially
what that looks like.
I work with
long-term.
Stella Swap, the largest DEX on Moonbeam.
I run 0x
I'm an
Degens.
associate
That is my
connector
like the top
for
of my pyramid,
a lot of exchanges,
and so I help with anything
for direct
A to Z.
listings. Mexi,
officially I work with Stella Swap, the largest DEX on Moonbeam. I'm an associate
directly
connector for a lot of exchanges
on
for direct listings
on other chains as well.
Mexi,
layer 1 connections,
Lbank,
and infrastructure
Bitmart,
pieces.
Huobi, KuCoin. I work with those teams directly.
I do contract BD work
the exchanges
for
and
Hacken
dexes
and
on
for people needing security
other
audit
chains
stuff,
as well.
and then I
layer
work
1
as a Nomad BD
connections
for
and
banks,
infrastructure pieces.
Fiat to crypto on-ramping and off-ramping stuff. So like how you were sort of saying, like something needs to be made.
Work for
There's stuff that's
Hacken
out there,
and
like
for
that
people needing
it's just
security audit stuff,
projects
and then
need
I
to
work as a Nomad
they
BD
don't necessarily
for
know
banks,
about it, then
fiat to crypto
that's my
on-ramping
job
and
to sorta,
off-ramping stuff. So like how you were sort of
be
saying,
out
like
there.
something needs to be made.
I try to
There's
go to
stuff
every
that's out there,
blockchain conference
that
either on
it's
behalf
just,
of a project
projects need to,
or
that's
they
don't necessarily know about it, then
to be up on
that's
top
my
of
job
everything,
to sort of,
like in the last
be out there. I
3
try to go
weeks
to
I've
every
done,
blockchain
an
conference
Arbitrum
that
event,
either on behalf of a
I was at
project
an OpenSea event,
or that's
Solana
a stone's
hackathon,
throw away.
AI and
To be up
blockchain
on
event,
top of
you know,
everything, you know, like in
and
the
then some
last
Avalanche and some NFT
3
luxury
weeks,
brand
I've done,
events.
you know, an Arbitrum event.
So just sort of
I was at
seeing,
an OpenSea
you know,
event.
always being able to keep and
Solana
grow my
hackathon,
network to be of service to others,
AI
you know,
and blockchain
and get paid
event,
to
you
do
know,
that. And then,
and
you know,
then some
social
Avalanche
media,
and some NFT luxury brand
you know, growth
events.
hacks and market sentiment
So just
and
sort of
SEO.
seeing, you know, always being able to
And
keep
then, you
and
know, I run
grow my network to be of
you
service
know,
to
I
others, you
am
know, and
consistently
get paid
inconsistent
to do that.
on
And
running
then,
the
you know,
Worst
social
Daily
media,
show on Twitter,
you know, growth hacks and market
as well
sentiment
as
and
AMAs
SEO.
and all of those other fun things.
And then, you know, I run
So yeah,
you know,
big
I
bucket.
am consistently
But
inconsistent
it's all going in
on
one
running
direction, so it
the
doesn't
Worst
really
Daily show
overlap.
on,
You know, it's
on
easy.
Twitter, as well as AMAs and all of those other fun things. So yeah, a big bucket. But it's all going in one direction, so it doesn't really overlap. Yeah. You know, it's easy.
I get it, man. I totally get it. Like, you'll see even synergies in your previous partnerships, our current partnerships. It's just like, you know, why aren't you guys working together? That should seem, you know, natural that you guys would just totally align because you're doing the same thing. But you know, so how long have you been crypto?
And that was because I was able to.
2012.
I learned about it the year before.
I got into Bitcoin.
Well, like I deep dived into it the year before.
That was a full
I'd heard about
5
it
years
for a
ahead of
minute.
me. I'm going to say that. You know,
I think it was like
you know, and that was because I was able to
like put it on my radar, like
I
Wired
learned about
magazine
it the year
or something
before.
like that.
Well, like I deep dived into it the year
you
before.
know,
I'd heard about it for
people
a minute.
that have been around me for a minute, they hear this.
It was like
I repeat the same story.
I don't remember what article
over and over again because
that, like, put it on my radar.
Basically,
like Wired magazine or something like that.
You know, the initial, you know, white paper.
People that have been around me for a minute, they hear this.
That it was better for everyone.
I repeat the same story
plus one person
over and over
good.
again because, you know, it was basically
the entire system. So I don't really. You know, I just have to hope that everyone else is doing good.
That had a mathematical formula,
and as long as
it was better for everyone if plus one person did good.
You know, I can, you know,
the entire
it doesn't matter how many bad actors there are, as long as there's plus one actor, it benefits everyone. And so,
and as long as I'm
that's sort of what got me, you know, then I had access to a computer lab, so I partitioned half the hard drives into Bitcoin
it doesn't matter how many bad actors there are, as long as there's plus one
you know, I was running a sports book at the time, so I was able to, you know, take in
that's sort of what got me,
and
you know, then I had access to a computer lab, so I partitioned half the hard drives into Bitcoin CPU miners,
transaction hashes
and,
as barcodes.
You know, I was running a sports book at the time, so
you know,
I was able to, you know,
that's
take in fiat and pay out in Bitcoin and
QR codes,
just sort of, you know, we wrote a program that printed
scan
out
the barcode,
transaction hashes
put
as
in
barcodes.
the transaction hash, and then you had to copy and paste that in to your desktop wallet.
That's where the age I'm from is barcodes before QR codes. So you could use our program, scan the barcode, and it would put in the transaction hash, and then you had to copy and paste that in to your desktop wallet. So, yeah.
That is awesome. Honestly, sounds really cool. That sounds like around the days where like Bitcoin was a cult still, and like it's secret hotels that accept Bitcoin and stuff like that. Like, you know, I'm very interested in the growth of Bitcoin because I wasn't exposed to Bitcoin until actually Netflix. They had a documentary that was Bitcoin. I think it was actually the title of it, called Bitcoin. And I saw that documentary, and I had already been very suspicious of the banks. I didn't know what was going on. You know, my financial literacy was on lottery ticket. You know? So, but I knew something was going on with my money. I'm like, wait a minute, I just don't feel like it's maintaining what it's not giving what it's supposed to give. I didn't understand concepts like inflation or anything like that. You know, it was crypto actually put me onto all these concepts. Like, I learned financial literacy through cryptocurrency. Like, I didn't even know how the dollar worked until cryptocurrency. Seriously. So I look at it like man, this is a great thing that everybody should know about. Like, so I go out and, you know, evangelize it to people in the ways that you're saying, and I get their feedback. You know, so I guess that's one of my little I don't know, side
I do the
hustles. It's
same
like
thing.
see what is the sentiment
Yeah, I do the
IRL,
same
you
thing.
know, city to city, state to state. And I've talked to about
I
not
work,
a lot, but like
you know,
3,000
I
people
travel and I work
around the
to
country.
onboard new users.
And you know,
My running
I do the
joke,
same
a
thing.
decent data set.
you know,
Yeah,
before I
I
was in
do
a
the same
relationship
thing.
was, you know, I go to, you
It,
know, strip clubs to go have a good
I
time and
work,
party with a bunch
you
of
know, I
friends and
travel
hang
and
out
I
and
work
have
to
fun.
onboard new
And, you
users.
know, usually drink
My
really cheap
running
Red
joke,
Bull because I was the designated
you
driver.
know, before I was in a
And I would
relationship was,
onboard more
you know,
people into
I go
crypto,
to, you know, strip
you
clubs
know,
to
new
go have a good
workers
time
that,
and
you know,
party
just
with a
sort
bunch
of
of
teaching
friends and
them
hang
like,
out
you
and
know,
have fun.
financial
And, you know,
independence,
usually drink really cheap Red
and
Bull
having
because I was
control
the
of
designated
their
driver.
dollars and cents,
And
that I would
I would
walk out with more
onboard more people
referral
into
bonuses
crypto.
than I spent.
You know, the
You
workers
know,
that, you know, just sort of
so,
teaching them like, you
but
know,
then I do the same
financial
thing across, you know,
independence,
every gas station. You
and
know, I
having
stop at,
control of
you know,
their
because when I'm in
their
the United
dollars and
States,
cents,
I
then I would
drive
walk
everywhere.
out with more
So
referral
like
bonuses
there's
than
project
I spent.
stickers
You
at like
know,
every gas station and
so,
gas station bathroom
but then I do the
I
same
go
thing
to, and I,
across,
you know,
you
talk
know,
to the
every
gas
gas
station
station.
clerk, and they're like,
You know,
"Oh,
I
where are you
stop
driving
at,
from?
you
What are
know,
you
because when
driving
I'm in
to?"
the
And I was
United
like, "Oh,
States, I
blockchain
drive
things." And they're
everywhere.
like,
So like
"My friend
there's
Joe told me
project
about that." And I was like,
stickers
"I can help
at
you
like
right
every
now.
gas
Do you
station
have to?" And it's like,
bathroom
"Yes."
I go
And, you know,
to, and I,
sign them
you
up
know, talk to
for,
the
you
gas
know, like
station clerk,
Coinbase,
and
and I
they're
was
like,
like,
"Oh,
"You
where
don't
are you
have
driving
to
from? Where are you
attach any
driving
bank
to?" And I was like,
accounts.
"Oh, blockchain
You know,
things." And they're like,
what this will, you know, I get
"My
them
friend
onto like
Joe told me about
crypto.com
that." And I
and
was like, "I
Coinbase. And the
can
reason
help
why
you
I do
right
that is they
now.
can earn
Do you
free
have to?" And
crypto
so like,
in
yes.
Coinbase's Learn and
And
Earn,
you know, sign
and
them
then
up
they can get
for, you
used
know,
to
like Coinbase. And I
transferring
was like, you don't have to
back and
attach any
forth. So
bank
moving from their
accounts.
left pocket to their right
You know,
pocket minus
what this will, you know,
transaction
I
fees
get
and
them
stuff
onto
like
like
that.
crypto.com and
And
Coinbase. And the reason why I do that is they can
that sort
earn
of gives
free
them enough
crypto in Coinbase's Learn
knowledge
and
base
Earn.
to learn how to go
And then
do
they can
more.
get used to
You know,
transferring
so
back
yeah,
and forth. So moving from their left pocket to their right pocket minus transaction fees and stuff like that. And that sort of gives them enough knowledge base to learn how to go do more, you know. So, yeah.
It gives me more questions too, because I'm like, okay, you obviously are a guerrilla marketer, so I'm just trying to figure out where, you know, where these mystical
a lot of the
multimedia
old
trainings
marketing
coming
stuff that I
from.
used to do prior to
I mean,
2018,
Nike
I'm under
did something
NDAs
like
for.
this. You
And
never worked with
that's
Nike, have you? Or
just
you didn't work
because
with
of like
like
the projects I
Batman,
worked with.
or
But
anything like
no,
that, did you?
nothing
A
as
lot of
cool
the
as
old
that,
marketing
you
stuff that I
know.
used to do prior to
But a lot of
2018,
stuff
I'm
on
under
market
NDAs
sentiment and
for.
analysis,
And
and
that
growth
that's
hacks that can be used
just because
today,
of like the
and they can
It's
projects I
still
okay,
do
work with.
good
good. I don't want
stuff.
to get you in
But
trouble, bro.
no,
It's recorded.
nothing
Just
as
have a
cool as
really
that,
good time
you know.
all the way around.
But a lot of stuff on market sentiment and analysis, and growth hacks that can be used today, and they can still do good stuff, and just have a really good time all the way around.
I guess my final question would be, what was the best growth hack moment of 2023 so far, and you know, what is your analysis of, you know,
growth hack of
how did it happen from your eyes and your perspective? Like what were the green lights of the universe that lined up for those projects, or what were they doing right, and what could they have done better?
Best growth hack of 2023.
No. Pepe, you know, cultural movement, you know. I was actually thinking.
I'm surprised you just jumped at Pepe, but it's
Pro
good
Club
that
and
you
like
didn't.
a kid called
No,
Beast.
Pepe,
and sort of like
you
the
know,
branding and
cultural
the
movement,
clothing line
you know.
stuff. And
I was actually thinking
both.
What,
you know, I think
Alpha
one of the
Pro
really
Club and like
cool
a kid
things,
called Beast,
you know, where we've seen like
in sort of like the branding
you know,
and
what
the clothing line stuff.
Azuki has done with some of
And
their clothing lines and stuff integrated with
what,
NFC chips.
you know, I think one of the really cool things, you know, where we've seen,
I think it was
like
Versace and
you know what,
another
Azuki has
piece
done with some of their
another
clothing
luxury
lines
brand
and
where
stuff
they did a
integrated with
joint
NFC
metaverse
chips.
and IRL
I
fashion show,
think
but what they did differently was
I
instead
think
of
it was
having models walk
Versace
through
and
runways and stuff like
another
that, they had
another
models sort of
piece
at
that
stations and
were
allowed everyone
another
else to
luxury
walk
brand where they
through
did a
so
joint
that they could actually
metaverse
see the stuff, but then
and
they could touch
IRL
the
fashion
NFC
show.
chip
But
that
what they
comes with
did
the clothing
differently
for
was
one
instead of
proof
having models walk through
genuine,
runways and stuff
as
like
well
that, they
as
had models
seeing
sort of
what
at
that looks
stations
like
and
in a
allowed
digital
everyone
space.
else to walk through so
Nakamigos
that they could actually see the
has
stuff,
done
but
pretty
then they
well.
could touch the NFC chip
You
that comes
know,
with the
and
clothing
that
for
took, you know,
one proof
partnerships
genuine,
with like
as
Beeple,
well as seeing what that
Beeple
looks like
opening a
in a digital
space,
space.
some pretty cool stuff
Nakamigos
there.
has done pretty well.
I think
You know, and that took
you
you
know
know partnerships with
Bonk
like Beeple.
did was pretty cool
Beeple
at
opening
the
a
beginning of
space.
the year.
Some pretty cool stuff there.
They you know, by
Um,
airdropping almost
I
the entire
think
Solana
what
ecosystem,
you
it
know
gave people the you know
um,
the choice
Bonk
whether to partake
did
or
was
not
pretty
to,
cool at the
and it
beginning
didn't
of the
matter.
year.
I think
They
something like
you know
that,
by
you know,
airdropping almost the
was pretty
entire
cool
Solana
because that sort
ecosystem,
of like
it gave people
revitalized
you know the choice whether to
the
partake
Solana
or not
ecosystem
to,
for, you know,
and it didn't matter.
to help recover out
I
of
think
the
something like that,
FTX, you know, pulling their
was pretty
liquidity
cool
out.
because that sort of like revitalized
And
um,
I've
the
also
Solana ecosystem
seen,
for and
you know,
to help
there's
recover
just
out
a
of
ton
the
of different things.
FTX, you know,
Because
pulling
it
their
depends on what you're
liquidity out.
looking at. If you're looking at token, if you're looking at infrastructure, or if
And
you're looking at NFTs.
I've
So give
also
me one.
seen, you know, there's just a ton of different things because it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at token, if you're looking at infrastructure, or if you're looking at NFTs. So give me one.
I'll start with infrastructure, or I would even start with like I would even start at the inception phase because you know, like, you know, some of these projects are like truly organic. I've seen, and then some of them like are very methodical. Like they've been planned out, you know, to the nine. You know, like it's not just some group of developers doing a hackathon out of nowhere. Like, no, it's a real thing, and you know, we planned it and we executed it flawlessly, and that's why it feels so authentic.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would say, I guess, starting at like the inception or the conception of the idea, like where did these? Because a kid called Beast, like how did that?
I don't know if we're going that
how did
way.
it exist
I think
in our radar?
Rotten Eggs.
You know, like did you just sitting in a room and like a Shirley Lowe pops up? Like how does this? How does it enter your world?
Yeah.
You know, Rotten Eggs was a really
I don't know
good,
if we're going that way.
really
I
good
think Rotten Eggs did something, and let's you know, talking about, you know,
constant
not
presence on Twitter,
but not meeting
you know,
conditions.
Literally hit me up in my DMs
you know,
a couple times before I finally
really
responded.
Good,
you know, like,
really good.
You know, just with the funniest,
generator
dumbest stuff of like, do I smell to you?
Constant
Is that why you're not talking
on Twitter?
to me? Am I too
you
rotten?
Know,
you
literally hit me up in my DMs
and then,
a couple
you know,
times
it
before
was,
I finally responded.
It's the organic
you know,
of like you know, calling
you know,
people
just with
out,
the
like, hey,
funniest,
you know,
dumbest
doing that
stuff
to
of
enough
like,
people, and then like just
do
literally,
I smell to you?
almost like
what
we used to do in Twitch, you know, Twitch raids, you know, Twitter raids of projects, and
then
we saw that
you know,
with like a kid called
you know,
Beast.
it's the organic of like, you know, calling
so
people out.
There's even
like, hey,
platforms
you know,
out there,
doing that to
raid
enough
to
people,
earn.
and then like
You
just
know,
literally,
if you go join a space,
almost like what we used to do in Twitch,
you know,
Twitch raids,
you
know,
can,
Twitter raids
from being in that,
projects,
and that
we saw that with like a
incentivized
kid called
the
Beast.
community, because next thing you know, you
and
see,
so there's even
you know,
platforms
with, like,
out there,
NFT
raid to earn.
Inspect,
You know,
also
if you
gave
go join
power
a space,
to projects to
you know,
recognize,
you can, you know, earn
people
from being
that
in
were
that, and that
doing the
incentivized
hexagon
the community,
NFT,
because next thing you know, you see, you know, and
of
this
their
like
project.
NFT Inspect,
And so
also
the
gave
on-chain
power
analysis
to
piece,
projects to recognize
I think,
people that were,
you know, if we see
doing
what,
the hexagon,
you know, Elon
NFT,
and Twitter have done,
you know, of their project. And so,
you know, has
the
really
on-chain
taken,
analysis piece, I think,
I guess, it by storm, of there's no such thing as bad
if we
PR.
see what,
So people are either talking about
Elon
Twitter
and Twitter
and like
have
they
done,
hate it, they love it, but
you
no
know,
one
has
will
really
argue
taken,
that it is not a
I guess,
tool
it by storm
to reach a mass amount.
There's
of
no
people.
such thing as bad PR.
Especially
so
when,
people are either talking about Twitter and
you
like
know,
they hate it, they love it.
We look at
or
what a lot of the like the
no
mega
one
spaces
will
are
argue
doing,
that it is
you know,
not
that are falling.
a tool
Some of them are
to
falling
reach a mass
into a
amount
little
of
bit
people.
of hot water
Especially
right
when,
now. But then at the same time,
you know,
the hot water sort of
we
relying
look at
off.
What a lot of the mega
Because
spaces are
everyone
doing,
is trying to find
falling.
FUD
Some of them are
with
falling
everyone
into a little bit
and
of
tear them
hot
down
water
and apart.
right now.
And so,
but then at the same time, the
I
hot
think
water sort of
for a
relying
minute
off,
there,
because everyone is trying to find
an
FUD
associate I
with
know
everyone
that
and tear them down and apart.
I love him overall.
I think for a minute
he
there,
has done so much for the blockchain community in education wise, and
an
then he sort
associate
of
I
turned,
know,
on
that
what he was doing and how he was doing it. It sort of
I
soured
love
it.
him overall.
But then he sort of got to see the power of people.
He has done so much
disliking and
for the
fudding,
blockchain community in education wise, and then he sort of turned
off on this weird,
on what he was doing and how he was doing it, that sort of soured it. But then he sort of got to see the power of
and seeing
people,
what Ben Armstrong has done.
Disliking and fudding.
Used to be an amazing voice of reason and education. Then it came into a voice of shill. Then he started to go back into a voice of education piece, and then
seeing what Ben Armstrong
has done now.
Used to be an amazing voice of reason and education. Then it came into a voice of shill. Then he started to go back into a voice of education piece, and then
it might not be
what Brian has done now.
But if lay it out,
is just sort of crazy
for what he's trying to do. It works for what he's wanting to do.
I say crazy, but crazy works sometimes. So it might not be my cup of tea
these days, and anger.
But if lay it out, and specifically for what he's trying to do,
people
it works
accept
for
it
what
for
he's wanting to do and accomplish.
But I think that
too much is built.
I think some of that can be poisonous.
Days, and
yes,
anger.
It brings light to projects. Yes, it gets traction. But
people accept it for entertainment value.
That I've always really liked is
I think that I think
and
some
I
of
don't
that
know
can
if
be
I
poisonous.
Made this or I heard it
yes,
from
it
someone
brings
else
light to projects.
What,
yes,
sort of become part of my
it
core.
Gets traction.
Is
saying that
if you're dragging someone through the mud,
really liked,
you'll get mud on yourself.
And I don't even know if I made this or I heard it from someone else.
So even if you're trying to come from a
my core,
look at this person, look at what they're doing. They're doing horrible. You're dragging them through the mud.
If you're dragging someone through the mud,
you're gonna get mud on yourself, and
you'll get mud
on
yourself.
Back to haunt you. And so I
And
try not to even address that stuff.
So even if
Give
you're
me
trying
just
to
one
come
second,
from
Mimi,
look at this person, look at what they're doing. They're doing. You're dragging them through the mud.
I think that
you're gonna get mud on yourself, and it can come back to haunt you.
We can do better than that as a community.
I try not to even address that
I guess for some people there's entertainment value,
Mimi,
but if we're making it poisonous, the people that are already in the room and it's entertainment for them, what about the new person in the room?
We can do better than that as a community. Because
what are they
yes,
seeing
I guess for some people there's entertainment value, but if we're making it poisonous,
I use the term
if the people that are already in the room and it's entertainment for them,
crypto bros or crypto
what about
lasses,
the new person in the room?
That are just shit talking, and
what are they seeing
first off? Because they have a question about a project.
Crypto chads.
There's something poisonous going on because it's entertaining.
It can be
what
crypto
kind
bros
of
or crypto lasses.
We've seen nothing
that
but
just
V friends do amazing
shit
things. We've seen
and someone else walks into the stage because they have a question about a project.
Do amazing
and
things.
There's something poisonous going on because it's entertaining.
Doing amazing things.
What kind of community are you setting?
Out there.
We've seen nothing but V friends do amazing things.
Raised.
We've seen nothing but Kid Called Beast do amazing things. Shell orbs doing amazing things. There's just some cool stuff out there. Mimi, I see the hand raised.
I just wanted to say something real quick. My brand is Mimi. Y'all see me coming as a Smurf. And I will say all the time, I never took the COVID shot. Right? But sometimes I have to ask myself, and I'm talking to you, host. Thank you for letting me speak in your space, by the way. My husband did. But we do have relations. So in a small smidge of things, I did take the COVID shot. Nobody never asked the questions to the doctors. Like, well, what if your loved one muffin or whatever? So that's my point, intake. But we are in this together, people. Thank you.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. I guess do you have anything to add to the conversation that's going on?
Is that for me?
Yes.
Oh, I just would love for human beings to kind of like reprogram, just like your phones. When you have that alert for your phone, and I would say your phone is reprogramming. That's your search bar. Maybe if you research what you was looking at before and you update your phone with the search, you'll get better information. It can direct you differently, but if you're looking for something to be scarce about, it will put you in that specter to be scared. But the creator, he not scared. He laughing at all of us. He's watching over me talking in this space. And shout out to the people that got dimples and canines and all that beautiful stuff that we have.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm sure Accumulate Jake has something probably pertaining to the
I would love
to the conversation.
The invite.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to speak right now, but yeah, he was there for the creation of Black Jesus, and you know,
I would
he's part of the community.
The
He's actually a
I don't want to
salesman,
talk to him.
This guy.
BD.
Please,
he
I'm gonna hold my
like definitely
BD BizDev hyperdirect.
I guess direct
is the term I like. Is what I like to call myself.
Genius, I guess, you know, like I don't know another way to define it. So like one of the things I like to do is pick his brain.
Now, Jake,
BD,
come on up.
BizDev
invite's been sent.
Is the term I like,
Kool-Aid,
is what I like to call
you've
myself.
been silent for a minute. Are you still there, sir?
I would give that to both of you. I would say that, you know,
Jake, come on up. You know, invite.
I totally understand that piece.
Kool-Aid,
anything that you want to add?
You've been silent for a minute.
To this piece.
Are you still there, sir?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm in like 2 other calls, so I haven't turned down.
Mimi, I see the hand.
Down for a second.
Lisa,
totally understand that piece. Anything that you want to add?
Lisa, I apologize.
To this piece
Lisa?
so far?
No, just chilling.
All right, Mimi, I see the hand. Lisa.
It's Lisa.
Lisa, I apologize, Lisa.
Yes, 2 S's. Language. And by the way, if anybody want to talk, I'm gonna keep going on. It's Saturday.
Well,
So I did, and I got into sort of the nitty gritty of thoughts
NFTs
of programming.
And blockchain today.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you got it.
Well, we've been going for about 3 hours, so we're a little bit. We're about an hour
and
over time.
Today.
You have a lot of people that have left. They'll come back. Don't worry about that.
No, we've been going for about 3 hours.
Okay,
so
cool.
We're a little bit. We're about an hour.
I want to accumulate Jake to come on up.
Over time,
Okay.
So,
so how long are you gonna be up? Am I wasting my time? Yeah. Are you about to get off?
We're about to close in about 6 minutes.
Okay.
I want to accumulate Jake to come on up.
I think he's in motion. He just sent me a text saying he's actually in motion. But yeah. I'm just gonna organize the notes that I took, and good luck, Jake.
Yeah.
Good luck. I mean, I hope I asked a lot of good ones. We still gonna have to research, so but still, I feel like he knows more about Ethereum than I do for sure, and what's out there already. So
Crypto
it's
zombies.
really about designing that infrastructure and putting those pieces together. So
hold on, Mimi. Yeah,
it makes sense.
Hold on just a second.
He said something about a zombie game.
Crypto zombies.
Continue.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you. NFT.
So how does
NFT
work?
Hold on, Mimi.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on just a second, Mimi. Massa, continue.
I just hear Taco. So I don't know. Maybe they have to go down and come back in. But so this is some breaking news, guys. I don't know if y'all know, but daily limits. Emperor Elon just imposed daily limits of consumption
since I am just now
good,
hearing
though.
that,
I think I get why he's doing that.
I am glad
because I mean,
it's one of those things where
it's a lot of content.
one of the worst things that I
but still, how you guys feel about it?
disliked about
Since I am just now hearing that,
Twitter
I am glad
is that I was
it's
only
one of those
able to
things
ever
where
follow
one of the worst things
5,000
that
people
I
unless I had 10,000
dislike
followers.
about
And so basically limiting me on the amount of people that I can
Twitter
learn from
is
and
that I was
interact
only
with.
able to ever follow
So I've
5,000
actually gone
people
through
unless I had
a purge,
10,000 followers.
Of accounts.
And so basically limiting me
accounts
on
that
the
I would
amount of
normally
people that
see
I can learn
being
from
shared
and
by other
interact
people,
with.
I then unfollowed that
I've
account,
actually
so
gone
I'll
through
still see everything,
a purge
via Twitter, but
of accounts,
making
and
room
so
for me to be able to follow
accounts
more
that I would
people has
normally
sort of been
see
one of, like
being shared by
I'd
other
be in
people,
a space or I'd be on stage.
I then unfollowed that account, so I'll still see everything.
The next thing I'm trying to
via
follow
Twitter,
some of the people on stage
making
because I
room
really
for
like
me to
what
be
they're
able to
saying,
follow more
and
people
I
has
can't
sort of
do
been
that.
one of
You've reached your limit.
I'd be in a space or
and
I'd
then
be
I
on
follow
stage,
the link and it's like, oh, you don't have enough followers to
and
follow more people.
the next thing you
You
I'm
don't
trying
have
to
enough
follow some of the
followers
people
to
on
monetize
stage
your
because I really like
content.
what they're
And I'm
saying,
well,
and I can't do that.
It's like
You've
if I
reached
have
your
10,000
limit.
followers, I
And
can
then I
use
follow
all
the
of
link,
these
and it's like,
tools
oh,
to
you don't
reach
have
more
enough
people,
followers to follow more
but
people.
I can't reach them.
You don't have enough followers to monetize your content. And I'm like, well, and it's like, if I have 10,000 followers, I can use all of these tools to reach more people.
ISS.social. I have
Taco, I gotta tell you about this one. So I'm like head of marketing over there at ISS.social.
Mm-hmm.
Have you checked that out at all? Have you heard about it at all?
ISS.social. I have not.
Okay, so it's standard.
Okay, can I talk to Taco?
Web3 marketing. Standard Web3 marketing website. Where we have social media content generated. It's kind of like an incubator. We wait for somebody to have like a really juicy story. But I don't know. We might have just got one because I mean, people are probably gonna be looking for options today, so I'm gonna go ham. But it basically monetizes your content from day one, and we were pretty much an intricate part of that because they had the mechanisms and the protocols and the knowledge of how to like get all these blockchains to work together.
Yeah.
They just needed like functioning business models, and they were priced out the market. Like it just was some of the prices they wanted to. It would take 10,000 actions for them to make $1.
Yeah.
And I was like, can we 10x everything?
You might have
that
to
it only
drop
takes
down and come back up if you want to finish out this space.
NFT.
Not everyone can
right
hear
now,
you.
You can actually go ahead and.
Mimi,
I see the hand, Mimi.
I see somebody's voice unmuting, but I don't hear anything coming out of there.
Mimi, you might have to drop down and come back up if you want to finish out this space because not everyone can hear you. I see the hand, Mimi.
I see the hand too, but then nothing. It's like nothing comes out when you move your lips. Just I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think that ISS.social is an option, and I think there's going to be many more. It's probably even going to get to the point where you don't even need a platform to have people be able to read your content. That might just be single party NFTs or whatever, like well designed NFTs. But I think that for me, seeing how like once you post something, you get compensated for it. If someone likes something, you get compensated for it. So like I was just messing around and I created like the Black Jesus account over there, Super DeFi, and trying to get it verified, make it look pretty. Yeah. And I did 3 little shit posts, just keeping it real. And some kind of way, it generated like a penny already. And I was like, wait, hold up. I know this platform only has 300 users.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Imagine, and that's what I was trying to like get them to understand. And the last like cherry on top, like this is because I want to work myself out of a job too. The last cherry on top is the terms of service, something I've really been researching. Right? Have you read Twitter's terms of service?
I think like 3 terms of services ago.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, do they ever link you to old ones? Nah, you just gotta print them out as a PDF and save them in case you gotta go to court. Yeah. But
they own everything.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
They own it. They got a global license. Here's their terms of service, and I drafted it with AI and everything, right? I don't know how much is going to stand up in law, but it's pretty simple. You own all of your rights, and you issue us a license as long as you're using this platform. We cannot sell your data. We can't like take your picture and go sell it to CNN like Twitter, and then not compensate you. Like these are totally your rights. This is totally proof that you created this original content. If it's original content, now if someone else can prove that they made it before you, that's on you, and that's copyright infringement, and we can't help you. So, but and just for the concept purpose,
like
we wanted to
and Mimi, I see your hand.
compensate
I'll go to you in just a
creators
second because we're
who
about to
basically
close
build
out
up
too.
these audiences,
But
build up these platforms,
there's
and
one
just
of the
get
other ones that I
shifted,
really
man,
like
with the
that I
nasty,
do a lot of
dirty,
stuff
rusty
on is
knife.
Favor.
Yep. There's a couple platforms
with a
like
P.
that. And Mimi, I
It's
see
all
your
on
hand.
chain,
I'll go to you in just a second
and you
because
earn
we're about to
basically
close
from
out
people
too.
liking your post
But
or mirroring your post or
one of
sharing
the
your
other ones
post,
that I really like
and
that
they
I
can
do a lot of
even
stuff
turn
on is
your posts
Favor,
into NFTs right there
with a
in
P.
the app.
It's all on
cool
chain.
Stuff.
And you earn
there's a lot of
basically from
content,
people liking your post or mirroring your
monetization
post
stuff.
or sharing your post, and
I
they
started
can even
making
turn your
YouTube videos
posts into
before
NFTs.
I learned
right
how to
there
that I
in the
should
app.
set up accounts
cool
to
stuff.
monetize. One of the
There's
first
a
videos
lot
I
of
made on
content,
YouTube in 2018 had over
monetization
7
stuff.
million views. Before that account
I started making
closed
YouTube
out by
videos
YouTube.
before I learned how to,
if I had
that I should,
known how to monetize,
set up accounts
or
to
even
monetize.
cared about
One of the first videos I made on YouTube in 2018 had
who
over
knows what
7
that would've
million
done for me.
views before
But,
that account got closed out by YouTube.
there's a lot of things
if I had
that cover
monetized,
content
known how to
creators
monetize,
and
or even
are
cared
really
about
good on
monetizing,
that piece too.
yeah, who knows what that would have done for me. But it's
I really like how that goes.
There's a lot of things that cover
as we're
creators
closing this
and,
space out,
are really good on
I like
that
to go around the
piece,
room, and looks like Mimi
So,
left.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wanted to hear what her closing thoughts are and what she's been
I
hearing.
really like how that goes.
So,
as we're closing this
NFT
space
Massa,
out,
it comes to you.
I like to go around the
Final
room.
thoughts
Looks like Mimi left
before we close out.
Unfortunately, I wanted to hear what her closing thoughts are and what she's been hearing. NFT Massa, it comes to you. Final thoughts before we close out.
Final thoughts. Crypto's here to stay. Tip of the day is whenever you're entering a Twitter Spaces, just check and see if there's like a red dot and it's saying recording. Before you get in your
I don't edit.
Pitch, because you might be too degen and they might be using this content later, and now they got to do some extra editing. Because, but yeah, just
I don't edit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's awful. I'm just gonna sound like a sailor.
Yeah.
But hey, I just gotta perfect my game and do better. Articulate myself with less curse words. You know what I mean? And that's the goal. And memes, guys, memes. The meme wars are always on.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you said earlier not to use anger and hate to drive the market because, like you said, some people come in and they think it's real. They're like, this is real hatred. I really hate Black Jesus, or I really hate white Jesus. And it's like, no, that's not what's happening here. What we're doing is we're just basically executing the prophecy of crypto by decentralizing and creating these communal trusts that allow us to pool our money together and do what we wish. Whatever, even if it's just have a pizza party over Zoom. Hey, it's up to us. But it just gives us that franchise, and it's on us to really learn everything there is to learn about it. So I think I've rambled on enough. I appreciate you for having me here, man. The space is dope. It's one of my favorite spaces right now.
But
I wish I could hit a subscribe button.
Thank you.
Kool-Aid,
are you still there? Or are you on?
I don't have enough followers to matter.
If not, I will go to my final thoughts and final words of wisdom.
You got influence.
As we end every episode, we end it with two things.
Kool-Aid, are you
words
still
of
there, or are
wisdom
you on another
and the
call?
greatest joke on the face of the planet. and it's always done out of love.
If not, I will go.
for
I will
those
go
that
to my
joining
final
for the
thoughts
first time.
and final words of wisdom.
But our
As
words
we
of
end
wisdom
every
are: a closed
episode,
mouth
we
cannot
end
be
it
fed,
with
and
two
you cannot
things
feed a closed mouth.
with our
Meaning,
words
if
of
no one
wisdom
knows you're looking
and the
for
greatest joke on the
opportunity,
face of the
opportunity
planet.
cannot come a
And
knocking.
it's always done out of
And if
love.
opportunity comes a
For those
knocking
that
and you are
joining
not
for
there
the
to
first
answer, it
time.
will keep on walking.
But our words of
And
wisdom
as
are:
we
a
end
closed
that,
mouth
you know,
cannot be
we end
fed,
with
and
the
you cannot
greatest
feed a
joke
closed
on the
mouth.
face of
Meaning,
the
if
planet.
no one knows
And
you're looking for
it's
opportunity,
done.
opportunity
We've
cannot
done
come a
this
knocking.
for
And if opportunity comes a
316,
knocking and
17
you
now
are not there to
episodes.
answer, it will keep on
TacoBytes, your
walking.
daily bite of Degen.
And
we
as we
are
end
thankful
that,
for
you know,
everyone
we
that's
end with
joined
the
us today
greatest
and
joke
been
on
part
the
of this
face
in
of the
some way,
planet.
shape, or form.
It's
But
done.
we end with the
We have done
greatest
this
knock
for
knock joke on the face of the planet.
17 now
And
episodes.
Mansa, since you are
TacoBytes,
here,
your
you
daily
get to
bite of
help with
Degen.
this. Are you ready
And
for the greatest joke?
are thankful for everyone that's joined us today and been part of this in some way, shape, or form.
All right.
But we
Knock,
end
knock.
with the greatest knock knock joke on the face of the planet.